Oh, okay. Hello. Let's see if we can finish Dot Hack Another Birth. Fucking finally. After several months, maybe the first book wasn't maybe it wasn't a good idea to have a 4-part light novel series as my first read along, but here we are. We've dug the hole and we're about to finish digging the hole. Then we're going to start digging another hole named Alara Unbroken, which is a Magic the Gathering book, but at least this one's standalone. Regardless. I actually forgot to open the images for the visuals. The notification told me to tell you obscure game facts. If you want to. Go live notification. Huh. I should change that though. It's been a while. I need to update that actually. There we go. It may not show up this stream, but still. Let's do it, yar. Hold on, I need to actually... Oh wait, that was there. I know y'all can't see it yet. Hold on. Right. Gonna open that one. Did you know the sequel to the DS game Polarium was a GBA game, came out a year after the DS one? That's cool as hell, and you're right, that is obscure. I've never heard of Polarium. Let's see. There's that. Here we are. Full screen, baby. Okay. It's a good puzzle game. Oh, okay. I've personally never been a fan of puzzle games, but that's just me. I like simple ones, and I cannot think of any specific ones. Like I like adventure puzzle games where you're walking around and doing stuff, but games like Tetris or Bubble Bobble or whatever, like those aren't really my thing. Especially since I suck at those. I'm terrible at Tetris. I'm awful. Then, you know, granted, I had never, like, actually played it until recently. For whatever reason, whenever I was younger, I always made it a point to never play Tetris. I don't know why. Maybe there was some kind of deep-seated, like, real gamers don't play Tetris bullshit from whenever I was a kid. I don't know. Either way. We're gonna pause the Spotify music and play some of the Dot Hack soundtrack. Perfect. If you will just go into a mini player, please. Come on. There you go. Sort of. That's not exactly what I meant. Come on, there we go. Okay, and then we're just gonna do right click. I don't know why this is lagging so badly. There you are. Picture in picture is what I need. Perfecto. Wunderbar. Alright, we're gonna minimize that. Okay. When we last left off, Black Rose and Kite were in the middle of chasing one of the waves that Leos and Helba, an employee of the company who runs the game and a hacker respectively, and they're helping them defeat all the waves to keep people from going into comas. But one of the waves that they were monitoring suddenly moved. and now they are at the bottom of the dungeon where it had moved to. I believe. Hold on. Yes, it moved. They fought a different wave, a different part of the wave, and then it moved back to where it was. Either way. We arrived in front of the room where there had been nothing waiting previously. This time, mist hung in the doorway, just as we expected. Mist in this game series indicates that there's a boss on the other side, or in this case, part of the wave. Let's see. Looking up at the sparkles as they fell, I murmured to myself, what are we supposed to do? If you think about what you want to become, what you should do will become obvious to you, my father had said once. I understood that I had to focus on the task at hand, but I couldn't help but be bothered by where Elk had gone and what Leos had been unable to communicate. Because previously, the wave that they fought was Matcha, which was revealed to be one of their friends named Mia, who was a mysterious purple cat lady with an unusual avatar that no one else had. I'm drinking tea this evening, but I cannot tell you what kind it is. I accidentally ripped off the label, and it was from a Ziploc bag that my friend gave me. I've had it for a while. I've been meaning to finish it off, and I finally did, but it's not bad. I specifically remember why I don't drink it that much. It's like I said, it's not bad. It's just kind of meh, but it serves its purpose. Anyway, I need something to rest my hands on. Come here, Gengar. There we go. Big boy Gengi. Big boy Gengi. Okay. Oh hell, come here, Hillary. That was a dumb bit. All right. Where are you? Kite peered at my face. If it's not there, we can just go back to town, he told me. He's right, Balmung agreed. There's no point getting worked up over it. Yet it was clear to me that I wasn't the only one who was worried. Kite and Balmung also were clearly uneasy. So I firmed my resolve and said confidently, right, let's get this over with and hurry back to town. Smiling, I brandished my massive sword count 8, I believe at this point. 7 or 8. Last week's fumble messed me up. The moment I entered, severe noise rang through my room, mixed with Leos's voice. Through the room, excuse me. I'm suspending the operation, he said. Huh? Why? Suspending, Kite said, visibly drained. He lowered his twin blades and tilted his head. It ate the vaccine and made a damned antibody. Leos's voice continued. My men are wiped out. Return to Omega Server Root Town. By the way, the picture on screen is the Omega Server Root Town. It's based on a hacker server that was made, but whenever they tried to go to the Omega server, it was so corrupted that Helba had to make a mirror of the Omega server, and she made it in the hacker's paradise. Wiped out. I slowly digested Leos's words. Wiped out? Kite said, shocked. You don't mean... He looked at me. I could only shake my head. As far as we knew, any player character not in a party with the bracelet bearer who got defeated by a data bug or one of the 8 phases like Skaith was doomed to fall comatose. The bracelet in this case being a little green hex code looking bracelet that's on Kite's wrist that allows him to destroy corrupted game enemies. Just doing a little catch up. So by wiped out, Leos meant... Can you hear me? Leos' voice called. Return to Lea... Again, his voice was drowned out by intense noise. What's going on? Balmung yelled to me as we ran over to Kite, who was calling out Leos' name over and over. I don't know, I answered him, looking around, but isn't this noise bad news? The noise intensified, and suddenly the display's colors inverted. A chill ran through my body. Something is coming, she thought to herself. A point in the air distorted like an expanding ripple. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Readying my massive sword count 8, I gazed at the wavering air. Is it Tarvos? I anxiously looked to Kite at my side and saw a red sphere arise from around his chest. What is that? I breathed as I looked back at the wavering spot in the air. And there was Aura, floating majestically in midair. This would be a good time to bring Aura back onto the screen. She's adorable looking. She's this universe's version of a true AI, artificial intelligence. She acts like a little girl, little baby. Oh come on! Had to blow a little hair off my laptop screen. But yeah, this be Aura. And there was Aura, floating majestically in midair, her eyes closed. The crimson sphere that rose up from Kite was absorbed into Aura's floating form, and she slowly opened her eyes. Dazzling turquoise orbs that looked around her as if making sure where she was, assessing the situation. Her eyes rested on me. Maybe now we can talk with her, I thought. I stepped forward like she was drawing me toward her, and suddenly another transmission from Leos rang out. What's going on? The momentum of the wave has stopped. We can do it. The wave? I queried, turning to look at Kite. Is Aura one of the 8 phases? Kite and Balmung seemed just as clueless as me. Amid the intense noise, I turned Leos's words over and over in my jumbled mind. Is Aura a phase? Or does she perhaps have the ability to keep the phases from moving? Her eyes, which had been looking around, now focused on one spot. I followed her gaze, then I tightly grasped my sword. In the spot where Aura was looking, familiar pale tree roots were entwining up, one after another. They were even greater than they'd been the last time we'd seen them, and their tips weren't visible. It was a development too abnormal to be called growth. Kubia. I squinted at it, and the air was rent by a noise more intense than any we'd previously experienced. We faced Kubia and readied our weapons. So that was Aura, now it's time to re-show Kubia. Weird gangly looking fucker. Oh fuck you, that was perfect. There we go. Fucking eyes on his neck. Ugh. Anyway, where are we? Ready our weapons. No, you must run! Aura's agonized voice cried out. You can't fight Kubia. And then she was gone, vanished without saying anything important. Says you. We'd run away if we could, I cried into the space she vacated. There was no way we could run, and I didn't see any reason why we should avoid this fight. Still, excuse me. Still, the way Leos's and Aura's words had been cut off ate away at my gut. We were suddenly transported from the dungeon to a typically strange battleground, though not the one where we faced off against the phases. I became uneasily aware of the fact that the bracelet attached to Kite's arm currently was aimed at the ground beneath our feet, and it unsettled me. The three of us had fought Kubia together before, so I wasn't concerned about our combat ability. No, it was Kubia's growth that concerned me. Was its growth based on something else? Was it proportional to anything? To what? For now, we'd better take care of Kubia, Kite said at my side, strengthening my defense and attributes, as well as Balmung's with items he had. Kubia the Concealed, Balmung muttered, as he was clad, in the effect of the strengthening magic. Oh, damn, my back's killing me for some reason. I'm gonna try to straighten it up. Okay, see if that works. Where are we? He readied his sword and asked, just what the hell is this thing? All Kite and I could do was shake our heads. Kubia was the monster that had been born when Skaith got defeated, and it always showed up when Aura showed herself. Yanni Janssen. Now, as we watched with bewildered faces, a monster that looked like a smaller version of Kubia appeared before us, the Kubia Core. It began summoning kill Gomoras, various Gomoras, rep Gomoras, and downer Gomoras, one after another. You suppose the same strategy as last time will work? Kite said. Yeah, said Balmung. Leave recovery to me. Hearing their plan, I left Kubia Core and its physical tolerance for later and plunged among the 4 types of summoned Gomoras, concentrating on cutting them down. Drawing on my previous experience fighting them, I repeated, Jesus, what the fuck? That's a lot of bots. Out of fucking nowhere. What the fuck, dude? Why are there so many out of nowhere? Shit, I'm just going through and manually banning all of these. Likely ban evader restricted. Ban evader? The hell does that mean? Cheap viewers. What a piece of shit. People doing bullshit like this. Assholes. Alright, anyway. Y'all didn't see any of that, thankfully, because the auto mod picked up on it, but so they were immediately automatically restricted, but still really shitty. Anyway. Let's see. Drawing on my previous experience fighting them, I repeatedly used attack skills. What if Kubi is not one of the 8 phases, I thought? What if Tarvos shows up right after this? Whether I worried about it or not, we couldn't advance any further without beating Kubia. Never mind advancing, we're in danger right now, she thought to herself. I expended item after item, taking down the Gomoras. Once those were gone, I struck at Kubia Core over and over. I'd filled my inventory to its limit, so I had a lot of items to use. Skillfully applying SP-consuming attack skills and scrolls, we whittled away at Kubia Core's HP. I had no skill in shrewdly changing equipment like Balmung or moving nimbly like Kite. If there was one stat that I was proud of, my physical attack power. As long as I kept my hit points at a safe level, I could dole out more damage per strike than anyone else. Freely using HP recovery items, I layered attack skill after attack skill against Kubia Core. Ride Driver, I cried, implementing a thunder-based attack skill. In my display, Black Rose somersaulted into the air and energetically brought her sword down on Kubia Core. Its hit points, which alternated between physical tolerance and magical tolerance, took a massive plunge to almost nothing before shifting to magical tolerance. Kite and Balmung readied attack skills in response, and then I noticed something strange. Huh? Until now, Kubia Core had seemed to be nothing but a monster, but now I noticed that there was someone inside it. Wait. At my voice, Balmung and Kite stopped their attacks. What's wrong? Kite said. Look, isn't there something inside Kubia Core? What? Balmung said, and 2 of them took a look at the defenseless monster before them. Inside it, a figure squatting and holding its knees in a fetal position was visible. There seemed to be a tube attached to its back. It looks like Kite, I thought. There were countless numbers of player characters in the world, so it wasn't unusual for there to be multiple PCs with the same face, but this... Why haven't we noticed this before? She thought to herself. Since our attacks had stopped, Kubiak Core obstinately started summoning Gomuras. Has he been swallowed up? Kite wondered as we easily defeated what Gomuras appeared. No way. Well, I mean... Balmung hesitated. Do you know something? Kite asked. Balmung paused, then he said, well, doesn't he look like you, Kite? Huh? Me? Kite looked closely at the figure within Kubiak Core. I guess there's a resemblance, he said, but why me? I don't know, Balmung said, brandishing his sword. I just noticed the resemblance and pointed it out. So what do we do? I said nervously, readying my sword. Perhaps it was all just an AI, but now that I knew there was something inside it, a character who looked like Kite no less, I began to think that maybe there was more to it. Nothing to do but defeat it, right? I said, Balmung, raising his sword high. Crack beat, he yelled, using a bisecting one-handed sword attack skill. Kubiak Core's HP gauge reached 0 and it terminated. Kubiak itself roared in pain as Kubiak Core vanished, and it started to sink slowly into the dark depths. I was fairly certain this was just a prelude to its usual escape act. I knew it. I muttered as the monster disappeared like it had been sucked into the color-inverted sky. Watching the same thing, Kite said to no one in particular, Kubiak doesn't want to let Aura and me come in contact. No mistake there, I said. Aura always disappeared when Kubiak showed up. At first I'd thought she left because she'd gotten the segment she'd come for, but after Kubiak had established a pattern of showing up every time Aura did, the only logical conclusion was that it was trying to keep us from talking to her. Balmung nodded. Is Aura somehow Kubiak's ally? He wondered. Even though she doesn't appear in the Epitaph of Twilight? I don't know, Kite said, but I think right now we need to trust her. The wave has commenced moving again. Came a transmission from Leos. Unable to estimate its direction. Wasn't what we just fought the wave one of the 8 phases? I tried asking in return, but the transmission had been cut off on the other end. Aren't monsters whose names are in the Epitaph of Twilight the phases? Balmung said. I didn't know what to say in response. They had said that a phase would appear here. Kubiak was mentioned in the Epitaph, but it was different from the phases, and Aura was never mentioned in the Epitaph at all. Sorry. Readjusting my posture. Where are we? Hey, Kite said, walking up to Balmung and me as we stood there lost in thought. What do you think about what Leos said? What do you mean? You mean how he said before Kubiak appeared that his men got wiped out? I asked. Balmung nodded, and I felt a chill in my bones. Anyway, let's get back to town, Kite suggested. And Balmung and I nodded, standing there speculating would get us nowhere. It would be best to return to our impromptu base at Leofail and check on things. We gated there quickly. Boop. And a boop. But for some reason, I felt uneasy. I was filled with an anxiety that something terrible might be going on. It's suspended, we heard Leos' voice say with an audible sigh once we'd arrived. What does he mean? Wiseman must have noticed our arrival because he turned and said, If we herd it into one more route, we'll have another chance. Leos sighed deeply at Wiseman's enthusiastic tone. I looked back and forth between them, then I just sent a flash mail to Kite. Quote, I wonder what happened. Kite replies, I wonder that myself. Black Rose replies, I don't want to see friction among us when we've come this far. Kite replies, maybe that's not what this means? We watched Leos and Wiseman's confrontation. My men are in the hospital, Leos was saying. How exactly are we going to hurt it? Huh? If they're in the hospital, then, she thought to herself. I replayed Leos's words over and over in my mind. His report of my men were wiped out weighed heavily on my heart. It made me appreciate like never before the, quote, grace of the bracelet that Mia had talked about. I could hardly manage the controller with my quivering hands. The scene in the FMD seemed so far away. Fumikazu, what your sister's doing might be a mistake, I thought. I don't want to get anyone involved in this, and even though we're small in number... As we stood there, shocked silent by Leos' words, Helba warped in. Leos, she said, staring at him. In an operation, you must consider how to deal with failure. Once again, I was struck by the danger of the operation. Those of us fighting on the front line were not the only ones in peril of falling unconscious. Everyone involved in this was in the same precarious position as we fighters. That's a weird phrase, we fighters. You could just say as we were. Helba. Oh, Helba. That was fast, Wiseman said, turning toward her and nodding in admiration. She nodded in return. So, how did it go? He said, and she smiled. How did what go? Black Rose thinks to herself. All of them will help us, Helba reported. All of who? I knew there were others working behind the scenes, but Leos had made it clear that his subordinates were comatose. I wasn't sure if Helba was aware of that, but I figured it probably had been explained to her, that in spite of horrible news like that, there was still people willing to help us with the operation. But that was beyond my comprehension. My head cocked and my eyes sought out the direction in which Helba was resolutely staring. At Leah Fail's Chaos Gate, warp rings after warp rings were appearing. My heart pounded hard. The eyes of every participant in our operation focused in that direction. There was no way we couldn't be worried. All the people who were aware of the danger we faced, but who would still help anyway, transferred in. Among them were Pyros, Natsume, Sanjuro, Sana Arashi, Ryoko Terajima. Unexpectedly, even Gardenia was there. Some of them greeted me with surprise. Then even more people I had never met ran to Kite's side. Their names were familiar to me from the BBS, and I had no idea they were interested in helping out. One was Nuke Usagimaru, a long arm who had said something about headlining his own comedy show. His hair was pink and waved about in the air like grass, so that your eye couldn't help but be drawn into it. Next to Nuke stood Rachel, a girl equipped in yellow light, who was always posting about her business ideas, like item delivery. There was a twin blade dressed like a ninja, Moonstone by the name, standing a short distance apart from the rest of the group, and there was a blade master named Marlowe, who was in full body pitch black armor and who gave off a villainous vibe. I imagine he'd picked a fight with Kite sometime in the past. All of these characters she's naming, by the way, do show up in the game as optional party members. You get them in side quests that you don't have to take Black Rose with you to do. So there's like a pseudo incongruency here, where like if you choose to have Black Rose always be one of your party members, and then like the third be the optional party member, then it's like, oh well, why wouldn't she recognize this? Blah 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 blah. But apparently in like canon events, Kite doesn't take Black Rose everywhere with him. Where is he? But still, like, this guy looks like the Black Knight version of Cecil from Dissidia or the original Final Fantasy. He's really cool looking. Also, his name doesn't really match his look. Marlowe sounds like a goofy ass motherfucker, but this guy's like real serious and he's like a goofy villainous type. I imagine oh my bad. What's the meaning of this? She thought to herself. The arrival of so many player characters who greeted Kite was truly bewildering. Yo, so the girl is here too, Suna Arashi said to me. Why are you here? I asked him, overwhelmed. Oh, our boy Kite here a lot of favors, he said with a smile. Kite also was the one who had introduced me to Natsume and Ryoko Terajima. Seeing all the player characters clustered around Kite, I marveled that all these people were his friends. A middle schooler making this many friends online? Surely you jest. Jokes aside. I grunted. Behind Suna Arashi, yet another set of rings appeared by the Chaos Gate. Who's next? When I spotted a familiar Wave Master, I choked and almost dropped my controller. Nyahan! She cried, approaching me with her usual exuberance. Someone contacted me, so, well, here I am. When I only stared blankly in response, she said, Black Rose, are you in power save mode? I shook my head wordlessly, and she continued, Mistral reporting for duty, or something. I fucking love Mistral so much. She's a precious lady. Her fucking avatar has like the skin tooth / snaggletooth thing. She's very peppy, but not in an obnoxious way. She's absolutely precious. Her IRL self is a pregnant stay-at-home wife who just gets bored easily, and she plays online games a lot. But when everything started getting heavy, she decided she wanted to quit to help protect her baby. She's very pretty. She's so fucking cute. She only gets like a little sketch in the novel, but still, it's enough to be like, oh, because like her fucking her attitude does not match how she looks. She looks like the standard Japanese housewife, but she acts like an absolute goober, and we love her for it. Any butt. Where are we? Almost too surprised for words, I responded in a hoarse voice. Why? Why even you, Mistral? What do you mean, why? Mistral said in her usual energetic voice, as she tilted her head. I was happy to see her, but I couldn't help but worry that she was pushing herself too hard. I wondered if she was hiding something behind her outwardly unchanged face. Helba interrupted everyone's reacquaintance. The improved edition of the vaccine has been completed. We can relaunch the operation immediately. To Leos, her words must have sounded callous. It wasn't like I didn't understand his feelings. Even when I had first learned that Fumikaze was in a coma, I couldn't bring myself to do anything. For a long time, all I could do was mope around. Leos' subordinates, probably friends of his, had just been struck down, and continuing at this time seemed almost disrespectful. I heard about your subordinates, Helba said, but would ending things at this point benefit them at all? There was no response to that. We couldn't stop. For the sake of getting back everyone who had fallen into comas, we couldn't just stand there. I stared at Leos. We've got to move, I thought to myself. Kite, Balmung, and all the other player characters gathered around looked at him as well, awaiting his word. His word. Although he hesitated, Leos opened his mouth and said, The operation resumes. Roger, we responded in unison. To your positions. Nope, to your positions, Helba commanded, and the assembled PCs warped out one after another. PC in this particular case meaning player character, not personal computer. You who remain will form the executive team. Stand by in the lowest level of the dungeon at Omega. Cruel, vindictive scars. Helba warped out. The only ones left at the Leah Fail Chaos Gate were Kite, Mistral, Balmung, and me. Turning to Kite, I said, I'm going too. You got that? Kite nodded and smiled. Mistral looked at Kite and me. Then she timidly spoke up. So here I am. You know, I just can't leave it be. I want to do my part to make the game fun for this little one, too, she laughed, embarrassed. Mistral, I murmured in a quivering voice. Take me with you, Mistral said, and Balmung looked at her. You need a wave master, don't you? She continued, smiling. Oh, that was her speaking it. You need a wave master, don't you? She continued, smiling. Balmung turned back to Kite with a troubled look. You choose, he said. Kite, bewildered, looked us all in the eye. When he opened his mouth to speak, Balmung's name disappeared from the party status bar at the bottom of the screen. I'll work behind the scenes this time, Balmung said. You should be all right. He warped out, vanishing. Those of us who remained looked at one another. I'm sorry, but, Mistral said, if I'm involved in something, then I want to be involved until the end. There's no need to apologize, Kite said, but it's not like I came back because things feel unfinished, Mistral continued. I thought it over thoroughly. That's why I came back. It's all right. You don't need to be concerned about me. She looked alternately at Kite and me. I'm the only one who knows both your situations. That's why it's important to me to be close to you to help out. Mistral drew in a breath. And if I'm not a bother, please add me to the party. Burpee. Kite looked straight at her, as opposed to gay at her. I don't know. Thanks. I wordlessly gripped the hilt of the massive sword count 9, at my back. Gratitude so overflowing in my heart that it refused to form words. Well, it's the usual suspects again, Kite said, and I nodded. Though the emotions involved were complex, Mistral's presence filled me with a sense of relief. Kite invited us both into the party, and Mistral's name appeared in the status bar. Let's go, I cried. Yeah, Mistral cheered. The transfer to Omega Cruel Vindictive Scars began, and some of my uneasiness returned. But perhaps we would not face combat after all, and would be only on standby. Who knows? For the third time that night, we took the shortest route through the field and entered the dungeon. If the phase called Tarvos was still there, we would just wait for further instructions. Was still not there, we would wait for further instructions. For the third time that night, we took the shortest route through the field and entered the dungeon. If the phase called Tarvos was still not there, we would just wait for further instructions. God damn it, I read that same thing twice. Once we reached the lowest level, a transmission from Leos came in. Encircling inducement successful. It's coming! Wink wonk. Whether it was a coincidence or not, the exact moment his words ended, noise filled the room, and a purple wave darted about our displays with momentary color inversions to green. To think that we'd see this scene twice in one day, I thought to myself. Unable to pin down any complex feelings, I strained my eyes to see past the wave's interference. If we defeat this, there's just one more left, I told myself. The field we were transported to this time was where we usually fought the phases instead of where we had just fought Kubia. Crumbling ruins floated in a cloud-wrapped sky, and the patterns were drawn with a pale light on the black, inorganic ground. My eyes followed them far off in the distance. And there, coming straight towards us, was a monster in the shape of a number 6. I don't really see the 6, but sure. It's your boy, Tarvos. Every time it fucking, whenever a wave comes in after the transition, during this specific scene right here, whenever there's the static behind us and you see the name, you hear this fucking guitar just like it's all distortion. There's no actual like notes. It's just thinking on it, it's kind of funny that they do that. It's meant to be intimidating, but it's kind of funny. It's like they're just deciding to rock the fuck out. Alright, let's see. 3 holes opened in its upper tip, and it had a face like a Haniwa figurine. A huge rusted stake pierced it from the head down, but it didn't appear to be a painful wound, probably because the whole body seemed to be formed of inorganic bricks. It sure does. Sort of. Still not sure what these things are in the center. I don't know if she actually does a description of it. We'll see, though. Oh, a lovely 2-page spread of Mistral's reuniting with Kite and Black Rose. Absolute babies. Excuse me, burpees. Mistral hurriedly started to cast strengthening magic on us, but I stopped her with a hand. "Come on, you hammer-headed freak," I yelled at the phase as I ran toward it. It was a bad idea for Mistral to be anywhere near the front line of battle without some knowledge of what kind of attacks it was going to use. Also, Wave Masters were especially vulnerable while in the middle of casting spells. Putting myself between Mistral and the monster, I slashed at it. The name it displayed was Tarvos, the same as that of the 7th phase monster in the Epitaph of Twilight. Tarvos had physical tolerance, so we needed Mistral to help attack magically from where she was standing at a distance. The words "Malice Light" appeared in the log, and prismatic light suddenly rose up from right in front of Tarvos. "What?" I cried as the light collided in midair, blending into a dazzling white light that swooped down and engulfed us. It took more than half our hit points, so we all turned to recovery for a moment. And then the words "Cursed Death Play" scrolled through the log, and I found myself lined up behind a target. What? I thought. In the time it took the thought to form in my mind, I was floating above the liver-colored water that had gushed forth in the center of the air of the arena. Tarvos appeared before my eyes, and I could only hang there helplessly as the stake slowly arose from its embedded position. It's been a while since I've seen that written out. Moving it like it had a mind of its own. The stake flashed with a crimson light and ran me through. Hell yeah, brother. Yawnies. Completely dealing 9,999 points of damage. My hit points dropped to 0 with no chance to evade or increase my defensive power. I died instantly. Or rather, my character, Black Rose, did. But Mistral hurriedly used a resurrection item and brought Black Rose back to life. "Thanks," I told her sincerely as I used an item to recover my own SP. "It looks like that attack means instant death no matter how much you struggle," Mistral said. "I wonder if we have enough resurrection items." Kite and I checked our inventories. "I haven't used any," Kite said, "so we've got some in reserve." "I don't have that many, but if Kite has plenty, then we might be okay," I said. Well, I'd rather not die so often that we run out." Mistral's tone of voice was so light that Kite smiled at her. Getting wiped out by a combination of the 2 skills we'd seen Tarvos use would be no laughing matter indeed. I used an item to recover my full hit points, then I approached Tarvos, reaching a good magical striking distance. Tarvos raised its voice bitterly in a mournful ululation, a word that I had never seen the first time I read this, and I haven't seen it since. Hold on, my fucking phone went off. Double checking. See some sub job offers. Nope. Oh, I missed a call from them. Well, shit. Oh well. I hope it's not for tomorrow, because I've done my 3 subbing days this week. Fresh out. Can't help you. Dabba-dee-da-dee-da-da. Dabba-dee-ba-dabba-dee-da-da-ba-dee-da-ba-doo-ba-da-da-dee-da-da. Dee-da-da-da-da-doo. I thought I already looked at that. Alright, anyway. Okay. Take a quick sip of tea. Okay. Where are we? Oh yeah, Tarvos raised its voice bitterly in a mournful ululation. Brown water flowed down from its Haniwa face, pooling below it. Is it crying? I thought to myself. I held off my attacks, putting a bit of distance between the phase and myself so I could observe. The face it wore made it look like it was suffering. Sounds like a baby. The Avenger, it says. Hilarious. Alright. Tarvos gave me Tarvos gave an even louder wail. Then it plunged into the pool that its collected tears had made. Where is it? Mystra cried from behind us, brandishing her staff over her head. Tarvos emerged from the puddle at her feet. Mistral! Kite yelled, running toward her, but too late. As Tarvos threw a countless number of stakes at her, the damage each one did was small, but there were so many of them that Mistra's hit points zeroed out instantly. Kite was there with a resurrection item to bring her back. Excuse me. Reminds me of Cactar's 10,000 needles. Whenever its situation got sticky, Tarvos would shed its tears of brown water. Oh wait. As for Tarvos, its tolerance had changed from physical to magical. It fled from me, but its speed wasn't very fast, so I hammered it with attack skills as I chased it. Whenever its situation got sticky, Tarvos would shed its tears of brown water, disappearing into the pool formed from them. Each time it did, it switched between physical and magical tolerance. Somehow we managed to endure its deadly skills, waiting for the words, protect, break, okay to appear. There it is! Mistra cried from behind after hitting Tarvos with an attack spell. Tarvos soared up to swoop down on Kite and me. It's Kite and I. As we busied ourselves with recovering. We raised our heads to see luminescent green rings encircling Tarvos' body. I'm firing, Kite yelled, aiming from directly below the descending phase. An arrow of light pierced its... where are you? Pierced its face. Tarvos was data drained, turning it into a collection of 5 rocks of various sizes. Time to go all out, Mistral cried, and she started a continual barrage of attack magic. From her perimeter position, I used an item to recover my skill points before contributing a series of attack skills. It's like my brain wants to think of a word before it finishes the word. So my brain's first assumption was before continuing. But no, it's contributing a series of attacks. Wait. Tempest Strike, Kite yelled, firing off a thunder-based skill. When it struck Tarvos, the monster made no sound, but horrendous fissures appeared on its face, widening until Tarvos eventually crumbled to dust. A strange silence fell. One more left, I whispered. No, there's still Kubia, Kite murmured, turning to me. Kubia the Concealed, right? Mistral said. But didn't that just show up earlier? I nodded. We saw Aura too, but she took off right away. Because of the Kubia thing? Probably, Kite said. I looked up at the sky. Usually after we defeated one of the phases, there would be some kind of transmission from Leos, but not this time. Had he gone to visit his subordinates in the hospital or something? Let's go back down, I said. Kite must have been thinking the same thing. He smiled at Mistral and me. 3 fights in 1 day is rough. You said it, I agreed. Let's hear from Leos what the rest of the operation is and log out. Sounds like a plan, Mistral chirped. We stowed our weapons and gated back to Leah Fail. That is Tarvos down. Hell yeah, brother. Alright, so back to the Hacker's Paradise of Leah Fail, the Omega Server Mirror. Alrighty. Taking their sippy. We're not even an hour in yet. Fuck yeah. Sorry, that's one of Gengar's ears? Head spikies? Flipping. Oh, there we go. Whew. Keep having back and chest pain, like there's something wrong with my spine, but I mean, I'm sitting up straight. At least I thought I was. I don't know, man. Excuse me. Anyway, time passes. What? I exclaimed when we got back to Leah Fail. There was no sign of Leos, Helba, or Wiseman. Instead, Netslum, that's the fucking place it's called, Netslum. Netslum inhabitants were clustered around the Chaos Gate. The old long-haired samurai called Jin spoke up. You are in luck. You are not. You probably are. Good luck. Bad luck. Enjoyment. Here. Just when I thought of something to ask him, he warped out. I am going now, said a high-pitched voice. No. I am going now, said a high-pitched voice. Please do not look for me. It was the paper-thin hearth fairy Skonk. Great name. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, hey, wait a minute, I cried, but I'm not sure Skonk heard them before he warped out, too. Kolwch equals swine running, said Kolwch. Kolwch, either way. Whose face was the... I can actually replicate this in chat. It is... Or is it... this? It's that. Oh, wrong one. There it is. Is that it? Yep, that's it. He made this face. And I don't know why chat's not showing up on screen. Come on, dude. Oh my god, why are you doing this? What is it? Interact? Is that it? No, it's not. Why won't it work? Does it work on the other one? Oh my god, I can't fucking speak. Is it working on the other ones? No, great, cool. Didn't even realize until it was too late. Oh well. Oh well, I'll just have to read out chat for the VOD watchers out there. Anyway. It had the, open parentheses. Oh. Apostrophe. close or greater than underscore less than apostrophe and close parentheses emoticon used on the net. Do you think computers have dreams too? Said Doran, whose face was a temperature circle period temperature circle emoticon. Of course they do. It follows that AI must dream as well. Alright, we just hit an hour. Good to know. Good evening, VOD watchers. More of my red deck came today. I am missing 8 cards. Very excited. One of them I thought I had already had, or already put, or already bought, or whatever the fuck, but apparently not. Apparently not. Anyway. But it's only like a 19-cent card. It should be pretty easy to find. I'm hoping to buy the rest of them this weekend. Starting tomorrow or Saturday, one of the two, depending on where my group goes for Friday evening magic. Alright. I really like that song. My sub-teaching job today went pretty smoothly. First block planning, it was apparently one of those classes that just didn't have a teacher in it because they didn't have anyone to fill the position, so they had a semi-permanent sub, but she had to do other stuff, so I was the sub for the sub. And it was like business inquiries or something like that. I don't know. They didn't actually have any work to do. Either they had done it all, it hadn't been updated, or both, but I just sat through 3 classes where everyone just kind of did their own thing or goofed off in one class's case. Thankfully, it didn't get too bad, but they were kind of annoying. But only annoying insofar as they didn't just kind of sit there and be quiet, which, it's a great day if you get at least half the class to do that. But the first class that I had was like super quiet, bro. I almost fell asleep multiple times during it. I had to stay awake because they were so quiet, just doing their own thing, playing games or whatever. It's crazy. Second block, third block, or period, third period, either one, was the longest, and of course was the one class where I had like 6 dudes just being real pricks. At least they were being pricks to each other. Still, they were very loud and annoying. Thankfully, I was able to write their names down. Let's hope they get the appropriate punishment. I don't know what that would be. And we're back with no chat on display. Wee woo. Anyway. Both of them warped out. What's going on? I said, taking a step forward. A smile formed on the face of Tartarga, the only Netslum resident still there. He walked up to us. "This is Bess," he said. "What is?" Kite asked politely. But then Tartarga warped out too. "What the hell was that?" I groused, looking around. "Nobody's here. Maybe they all went home after we won?" "Could be," Mistral said. "That administrator guy might have headed over to the hospital." That probably did explain where Leos had gone. "Oh," Kite said softly, but it wasn't in reaction to Mistral. "What's up?" "I got an email. It might be from Leos or Helba." Mistral tilted her head. "Maybe we're done for the day?" It didn't seem like anything was going to happen if we just waited there. So we disbanded and logged out. Moments after I removed the FMD, after our long, tiring session, an email arrived. Huh? Opening the message, I saw that it was from Kite. Quote, "The email I just got was from Aura. It's scrambled, but maybe I should forward it to you? Aura had started to say something before she disappeared, and now she'd sent an email? I hurriedly dashed off a reply. Send it! I relentlessly awaited his text message. End of chapter. We return to the real world with young Akira. First string of her high school's tennis team. Athletic type of gal, not normally the type to be playing MMOs. Still, adorable. Ow, I snapped my neck when I said that. Not literally, but like, I like quickly snapped it forward, and it gave me like a whiplash, kinda. That sucked. Okay. Next chapter is called Beginning of a Long Night. This was around where my stream crashed last time. Because I remember Akira was in the real world figuring out the message left by Aura. Making sure everything's still working. Yep, alright, we're still good. We're still good. Anyway. To quote Aura's message. Kite, I wanted you to Morgana, but of it Orca am sorry. Oh, no, with Kubia. Kubia is, and the bracelets. Defeat Bia is to the bracelet. Do not with Kubia. Sorry, I already know what this means. But if you had like no reference point, you'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" So I kind of get it. Or if you saw what was coming a mile away, you'd get it. I groaned at the email Kite had forwarded me. Even though I could read the important names in it, crucial parts were scrambled, and it was very difficult to tell what she was trying to say. The note Kite attached to the email didn't help things any. The emails I sometimes get from Aura are always a little scrambled, is what Kite's reply email said. I sighed and rested my elbows on the desk, thinking it over and rubbing my throbbing temples. I'm glad that said temples and not nipples. What the fuck? God damn it, dyslexia. Because I saw the MPLES, my brain was like, nipples. Ma'am, those are his nipples. But he's a boy dog. And I said, ma'am, doesn't your husband have nipples? I love that video. What are the big nipples? He's a boy dog. I said, man, doesn't your husband have nipples? Man, stop, those are his nipples. Oh, I worked myself up over that. God, that's funny. Man, doesn't your husband have nipples? Sorry, I'm trying to get some dust blowing off my desk. Okay. I've been staring at the computer for so long that I developed a mild headache. I checked back through the game's logs for the moment when Kubia appeared. No, you must run. You can't fight Kubia, was what the log said. I figured that Aura's new email was probably trying to tell Kite the same thing she couldn't finish saying earlier. But even with that assumption, how was I supposed to interpret a scrambled message? To defeat Kubia is to the bracelet. What does that mean? I read the message over and over, murmuring under my breath. Then I started trying out letters in the symbol slots. I realized that with a few logical guesses, the message became a lot more readable. But because of it, Orca, I am sorry. Do not fight with Kubia. Kubia is yours and the bracelets. Yours probably referred to Kite, so that meant Kubia had some connection to Kite and the bracelet? After all, we had seen someone who looked like Kite squatting inside the Kubia core. But it was pointless. Yes, Sam, I'm a reading. Read. Also, for some fucking reason, chat won't show up on screen this time around, so I'm gonna have to be reading out what few messages that may come my way. Where are we? But it was pointless to tell. It was pointless to tell us not to fight Kubia. If we didn't fight, we'd be killed. Maybe Aura knew some way for us to avoid fighting it entirely? Doubt after doubt bubbled up inside me. What the heck had Aura wanted done with Morgana? Harold had said that name too. We'd never met nor heard much about her. There was an important piece of the puzzle there, but what was it? I sat back, sudden realization striking. I had misinterpreted something. Kite, Asaoka, and Hagia too. We had thought that Emma Wieland was Aura's mother, but now, while I still felt Harold was her father, something told me that Emma was not her mother. Emma no longer existed, so she could do nothing to fulfill the mother's role. Quote, the living flesh poses a hindrance. That was what Harold had said in the note he left. I had thought he was referring to life after death, even if it didn't exist. I thought that was the only situation where living flesh wasn't needed. That was how I was able to think of Aura as Harold and Emma's child. But what if Aura's mother actually was not Emma? Rather, Morgana? Opening the file where I'd stored the epitaph fragments and the notes we had picked up in the world, I started comparing it to Aura's email. But though I strained my eyes staring at the monitor, searching for lines that would satisfy that interpretation, I came up empty-handed. Beyond what I had already discussed with the upperclassmen. I groaned, again holding my head. There were so many things rattling around inside my skull that I didn't understand. Aura was our only lead toward helping the coma victims. That much I knew for sure. She was trying to give some kind of message to Kite, whom he'd entrusted the bracelet to. It was our responsibility to read between the lines. There isn't any tennis club practice scheduled tomorrow, I thought, so maybe I can find a good time to discuss my theory with Asaoka. Hearing the opinion of someone who wasn't directly involved would help me see things from a different angle. Of the dangle. Well, no time like the present. I printed out Aura's email and sent a text to Asaoka. I had a thought, said the text message. Flip over what we're... Wait, I had a thought... Oh my god. I swear I'm dyslexic, but I never got diagnosed. Quote the text message. I had a thought that would flip over what we were saying the other day about the epitaph of Twilight. I was wondering if you'd like to hear it. Looking up at the clock on the wall, I waited for the cell phone in my hand to buzz and reply. Somehow I wound up falling asleep in that position. Some time passes. School the next morning was filled with a pre-winter break hum. Winter coming on only reminded me of Fumikazu, who loved it, though solely because of the hubbub of Christmas and New Year, and the prospect of getting presents on either day. This would be the first major school vacation since Fumikazu had fallen into his coma. For me, the best present possible would be having him awake to enjoy it. Aww. I stared gloomily out of my classroom window at where Asaoka's gym class was meeting. She finally had sent me a reply sometime that morning, and it was what she wrote that had spurred my melancholy. Well, this is interesting. My favorite character is Clumpington, the 5th Duke of Clumpleberry. What the hell, Sam? Are you familiar with the Dot Hack series? Like, in general? because that's what I'm reading. I'm reading the light novel adaptation of the original 4 games, and we're on the last one. Then we're gonna start on a Magic the Gathering novel. Baby, not in the slightest. Well, the best way I can put it is Sword Art Online if Sword Art Online didn't suck. It involves an MMO that affects people's lives, but in this case, there are things in the game that when they attack players, they put them into comas. The main character of the series, Kite, is his online username. Oh, by the way, the MMO is just called The World, which is just so goofy. This is like an alternate future as well, because we're in like, we're in like 2004 maybe, but they already had like face-mounted displays or FMDs that acted as like VR goggles, basically, which is just so cool. This is a game series. Yes, it was originally released on the PlayStation 2 in 4 parts, each part its own game. There's Dot Hack Infection, Part 1, Dot Hack Mutation, Part 2, Dot Hack Outbreak, Part 3, and Dot Hack Quarantine, Part 4. That's the original 4 games, and then it got a sequel series called Dot Hack GU, which was 3 parts. And all on PS2? All on PS2, absolutely. It plays in part like an action RPG, but also you open menus to cast spells as well. Although if you're not very familiar with JRPGs, it is very beginner unfriendly near the end. The start of the games is pretty easy if you know what you're doing, but like if you're unfamiliar with JRPGs, whoo boy, it can get very hard. Especially the fact that healing items and spell names are not typically named like you would expect. Like fire is not fire, it's called something else. Healing, it's not called heal, it's called Repth. R-A-P-T-H. And you've got different classes, but you can't really choose one because you're playing as the main character named Kite, who's a twin blade, which he has like 2 daggers that he can wield. That's the word. And he's accompanied by a heavy blade, which is a big 2-handed sword wielder named Black Rose, and a wave master, i.e. the wizard of the game, named Mistral. And the books take place from Black Rose's perspective, but it essentially tells the exact same events as the PS2 games. So if you can't afford to buy them for an arm and a leg, or if your PC won't run PS2 emulators, like mine won't, then reading the books is the next best thing. Although I do have all Dot Hack game, all 4 original Dot Hack games on original PS2 hardware, so I will be playing them at some point. Also, the soundtrack fucking rips, which is what's been playing this whole time. And also, the story reads like a mystery, because they're trying to figure out what's putting in people in comas, why it's happening, how they can help, and they meet all kinds of like suspicious people along the way. It's so fucking interesting. It's also like a multimedia franchise, because there were at least 2 anime that I can think of. There's Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, which takes place a few years after the original games, but before GU. There's Dot Hack Sign, which takes place right before the original PS2 games, which I highly recommend. It's not very action-themed, it's very character-driven. And if you like the world that they're in, and you dig the characters that are introduced in the anime, then you'll like the anime, because like I said, it's very character driven. It's about a It's about a wave master named Tsukasa who one day finds that they cannot log out of the game. They're just stuck there. And it goes through their like emotional response to it, how they cope with it, you know, how it affects them and changes them and the people that they meet along the way. Like it's a very simple premise, but it's very intriguing to watch. I'm trying to think of anything else I need to add to like explain the series. If I'm not mistaken, the light novels, the original light novels for Sword Art Online came out around the same time as Dot Hack, so they're like neck and neck when it comes to like MMO anime, even though Dot Hack isn't technically an isekai. Although I don't know if I would consider Sword Art Online. Sounds right up my alley, actually. Fuck yes! Yes! Please play it. I highly recommend it. And what's also really cool is that you can transfer your save data between games. That's what you're supposed to do. You start with part 1, you beat part 1, it gives you the save game data, you save it, and then you pop in part 2, and then you load the complete data from part 1 into part 2, and it continues the story. Like, at the time, that's fucking amazing. I mean, even to me to this day, that's fucking awesome. You rarely ever see games that do that. And these games came out like months or almost years apart. Maybe like a year apart for one of them, I don't know, but like, oh, it's fucking amazing. And you do have the option to switch between English and Japanese voice acting if the early 2000s English voice acting is too hokey for your taste. But it does include a lot of industry staples. Like, Kite is voiced by an industry staple that I don't remember her name, but like once you hear Kite speak, you'll be like, oh, I recognize her voice. Or same for Black Rose. It's like, holy shit, I've heard Black Rose's voice in like 100 other anime. It's very funny. Alright, anyway, sorry. I feel like I like this better than SAO because it's more about the technology. Yeah, kind of. It is more about the technology in Dot Hack, where they're like, so the MMO is called The World, and it's based on an epic poem that I'm pretty sure is not real. But in the world of Dot Hack, it was written by an artist named Emma Wieland, and there's a lot of references to the Epitaph of Twilight in the game. And the original creator of The World, Harold Horowick, I think, he was like madly in love with Emma Wieland, and he put a lot of the references from her epic poem in the game, but then she tragically died, and also this isn't really a big spoiler either. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. And they're uncovering various mysteries, and Kite gets this mysterious bracelet that allows him to hack into different areas of the game. And the way this MMO works is actually super fucking cool, and I wish some MMOs would do this. But the basic structure is you have at least 5 servers that are named after Roman letters: Beta, Delta, Sigma, Omega, etc., etc., etc. And from that, and those are called root towns. And from those root towns, you have this portal or gate. When you interact with the gate, you are given a list of words that you can string 3 of them together, and depending on which of the 3 letters you choose is Sigma War Flashback. Sigma nuts. Anyway, depending on which of the 3 letters you choose, it will generate a little world and a dungeon in that world for the player. And that's super fucking cool. And you can actually do that in the games themselves. You can string any 3 numbers, or any 3 words or phrases from the list, and it'll generate you a world. It'll tell you what level it will be, and other general stuff like that. Like, for instance, what's the name of the first server? I think it's Delta server is the first one. It's the one with the closed triangle. It's so sick as fuck. I love it. I love dot hack, bro. And another way that you actually interact with the game is that you can close the MMO to go to the main character's desktop, and you like look through the BBS or like like these message boards for the MMO to look for clues and to find new keywords that you're supposed to that people have found. It's like, hey, I found this weird thing in Lambda blazing her thirst aqua or something like that, and you're like, oh, that seems mysterious, I'm gonna memorize those words. And then you go to that server. Yeah, you go to that server and you enter those words, and then a story thing happens, and it's so fucking cool. I love it. I love that shit. The only way that becomes a hindrance is it's sometimes to progress the story you have to find those specific words, and sometimes you'll find them on the BBS. Sometimes you'll get an email from someone sending them to you and stuff like that, and you kind of have to figure out where you need to go. You can even look at the news. There's even a joke news article in the game about an automatic cat litter box cleaner, like over almost a decade before those things actually existed, if I'm not mistaken. It's fucking crazy. Fucking love dot hack, bro. So good. You also get optional party members, and you can have 3 members to a party, including yourself. You can command them to do different stuff. You can command them to do different strategies, like focus on healing, focus on spells, focus on physical attacks, etc. You can give them weapons, and if it's a good enough stat, they'll automatically equip it. Or you can go into their menu and equip it for them. It's fucking I love dot hack so man. I can't wait to play it on stream. It's gonna be so fun. I need to get on this right now. So, don't hold your breath when it comes to buying them physically, because so the first 2 are within reason. I think the first one's like 30, as is the second one. The third one gets into like the 70s and 80s range. The fourth one is over $150. It's a lot, and the secondhand market sucks ass. But it also doesn't help the fact that whenever it originally came out, every game in the original 4-part series had an anime OVA disc that came with it, and it was part of an animated OVA called Dot Hack Liminality, which depicted the events of the game from outside the game, from the perspective of these 3 female protagonists, which I have not actually watched them, but I do have the DVDs. And like, I need to watch them sometime. But yes, go play it whenever you get a chance. This is so fucking good. Okay, I've been geeking out for too much. I need to finish this book. That's how they get you. They get you hooked on it. Oh yeah, totally. I got lucky, honestly. I have a friend that I've known her since high school. We dated for a while. She's super cool. She was getting married back in like 2015, I think, but she couldn't afford everything. And she's like, dude, I need your help. If you buy all of my makeup for my wedding, I will trade that for all 4 of my dot hack games. And I'm like,
you got yourself a fucking deal, bitch.
So I paid significantly less than what they're worth. I got incredibly lucky. I will not deny that. Although the first time I did beat them, I beat them on on an older laptop that ran the games pretty well, and I was able to beat the games. But yeah, fucking amazing. Highly recommend it. Now, with the Dot Hack GU series, the sequel series, they did remaster it and put it on PS4, but not the original for some fucking reason. Anyway, Asaoka is Black Rose's friend in real life, and that's Black Rose in real life on screen. Her name is Akira. And this is what Asaoka replied with. Sorry I couldn't get back to you right away last night, but to answer, I'd be happy to listen anytime if it's something about the Epitaph of Twilight. It might be best for Hagia to be there, too. How about we meet in the music storage room after school? Fucking... Okay, so Hagia is a book-only character because he only exists in the real world where Akira is. But he's this dude that is crushing on Akira, but she already told him that she's not interested. But this fucker will not stop. And Asaoka, for whatever fucking reason, when they were trying to decipher the Epitaph of Twilight and like read into it and figure stuff out, she brought him along without telling Akira, and the fucking book depicts this as like, oh, it's kind of annoying, but fine, whatever. It's like, no! Akira does not want anything to do with this boy, but she keeps showing up in his life. And it keeps really fucking annoying me. I hate Hagia. All my homies hate Hagia. All my homies hate Hagia. He's a fucking bitch boy. Well, he doesn't actually bitch. He's just one of those persistent assholes that doesn't take no for an answer, and I hate people like that. Like, dude, respect people's boundaries. Ugh. Anyway. I knew that if I really wanted to hear things from different perspectives, it was best for Hagia to be there as well as Asaoka. I mean, granted, Hagia did help Akira like figure out, you know, what different parts of the Epitaph of Twilight meant, but that does not excuse his fucking creepo behavior. Anyway, especially not in the music. Oh, even so, I honestly didn't want to see him, especially not in the music storage room because he's a music student. I sighed, and my teacher rebuked me for spacing out. I'm sorry, I said in a low voice, turning my eyes back to the textbook that I'd opened to a random page. I hadn't been paying attention to the lesson at all. When that period was over, Shoko appeared at me with a worried expression. You've got some pretty dark circles under your eyes, she said, sitting down in the seat in front of me. You okay? Don't tell me. Too much studying? I snorted. Hardly. Did something happen? No, nothing. I tried to smile, but Shoko didn't look like she was buying it. Want to go have some fun? Want to go have fun somewhere after school? I remember reading this last time. This is a really weird way to word that. It's like, want to go have some fun after school? Granted, this is a girl, but still, it gives off like super gay vibes. Which, if Akira were into it, it'd be like, hell yeah, girl, do that. But, like, she's very much straight-coded. There's no, like, long, full glances at other ladies or anything. Anyway. If only, she thought to herself. I have to do something with an upperclassman from my club, I said. Sorry. That's also very weirdly worded. I have to go do something with an upperclassman. Like, come on, dude. Okay, Shoko said, raising an eyebrow. With that upperclassman by any chance? That upperclassman? Hagia's face sprang immediately to mine, and I sighed. No way. The moment the words left my mouth, the bell starting fourth period rang, and Shoko smiled. Later, she said, going back to her seat. I sat through another class I didn't care about until at last the final bell rang and I escaped from the classroom. Where are we? Leaving Shoko's and the others' inquisitive stares behind me. Ever since that day, Hagia had asked me out in the music storage room. My heart would pound whenever I walked near it. Every time I set foot in that dusty, dim, cluttered room, I remembered the day that my chest felt hot. Today was no different, and I had arrived a bit early, so I was alone in the music storage room with those memories for longer than I would have preferred. Hagia was the next to arrive, because of course he was. That was me adding a comment. Oh. Actually, let's do this appropriately. Oh, I said, hi. I could bring myself to greet him, at least, and he smiled. I stared at the doorway behind him. When's Asaoka going to get here? I thought to myself. Hagia, seeing the question in my expression, spoke up. Asaoka said she'd be late. It's her day for classroom duty. Oh, I said, my heart dropping. Is that so? Hagia was surprised. She didn't message you about it? I checked my phone. If she sent a message, I never got it. Hagia shrugged. Well, we might as well do something while we're waiting for her. Don't say it like that, man. Come on. Words mean things, bro. Words mean things. Don't say it like that. What do you have in mind? Being one-on-one like this with him was making me so uncomfortable. I couldn't look him in the eye to await his answer. I hope she gets here soon. Hagia chuckled. Ew. It sure is warm today, he said, walking over and opening a dust-covered window. On a day like this, I recommend relaxing on the roof. He leaned out the window and took a deep breath. That's better. There were 2 chairs by the window, and he lifted one of them in my direction. Here, use this. Why the fuck would you do it like that? I'll read your message in just a moment, Sam. I accepted it, brushing off the dust and sitting down. I leaned out the window again. Alright. Oh, he leaned out the window again. There's a DS game that probably has the same vibes as this one. It's called The Nameless Game. It's a 3D exploration / spooky haunted game. Like a creepypasta visual novel, and it's super good, actually. I really enjoy it. Visual novel, okay. I don't mind visual novels, but I tend to be picky about them. Are there any jump scares? Because if so, I'm going to have to venture forth hesitantly, because I do not like jump scares. Hate them. Let's see. So, I said, the roof? Oh yeah, Hagia said. You take a sandwich and some black tea or something. Oh, fresh donuts from the store can be good too. That's the one thing I agree with. Does some creepy stuff with the DS system menu. Oh, that's fucking cool. The Nameless Game. Hold on, let me write that down. Because I have Cosme's being nice enough to... Cosme got a new 3DS XL from a customer that just didn't want it anymore, and it works great. And he's like, bro, I'll send it to you with a lot of like emulations on it and whatnot. I'm like, oh, bless you. So yeah, I'm gonna write that down in my notes of games that I want Cosme to add to the 3DS. The Nameless Game DS. Cool. Maybe a sensor thing. Let's see. I'll admit that I was fooled by the system menu fake out. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, sorry, I got distracted replying to a few people. Anyway. Where are we? Oh yeah, sounds like a reasonably priced excursion, doesn't it? So how about we have a tea party on the roof together sometime? Bro, she already said she's not interested! It's kind of corny, but I love that corny stuff. I feel that. I love me some good corn. And some good porn. Okay. I cocked my head and contemplated the childlike pleasure in his voice as he stood there breathing the fresh air. Did I say something weird, he asked. Yes, you asked her out again, despite the fact that she already turned you down twice. No, I shook my head, a smile escaping my lips as I thought how surprisingly charming he was being. The sun shining through, the window made the fair skin of his face stand out, and his hair sparkled. Like a vampire? What? I stared at his profile. His face was full of curiosity about the world around him. He turned his head from the scenery and met my gaze. I really do like you, Hayami. I don't care. She does not reciprocate. What was I supposed to say to that? He kept peering at my face, and it was a long time before I tried to force out some words. But I knew he just wouldn't get how I felt unless I kept talking, but the words got caught in my throat. His stare was not unkind, but it was steady. Look, I finally said, and the storage room door opened. God damn you, Asaoka. First, you leave her in the lurch, and now, whenever she's about to turn him down, you interrupt shit. Damn you, Ryder. Where are we? Sorry I'm late, Asaoka said, stepping inside. She looked at us and froze. Have you already started talking? Don't act like you didn't plan this, you bitch. I could feel my face burning as I shook my head repeatedly. She raised an eyebrow curiously, and I blurted out in a torrent, "Not yet, and, I know it's jumping right in, but, yeah, no problem," she said, grabbing a chair from the other corner. "Did you make some new discovery?" I took a deep breath. Do you remember about Aura being an AI? You mean Emma and Harold's daughter?" said Hagia. I nodded. "That's the thing, that's what we were thinking, but she's not," he said. "I was just wondering, what if it's really Morgana who's her mother?" "Morgana," Hagia muttered. "Ah, she was mentioned in Harold's note, right?" He pulled a crumpled printout from his bag and he peered at it. He peered at what it said. Itchy. Oh. That's better. There might be more to this book than oh wait, no, wait, hold on. Whew. Still quite a bit. Damn. Well, we're definitely gonna go longer than 2 hours, but I really want to finish this tonight, but I probably wasted a bunch of time blabbering about shit, but hey, I'm glad I got to recommend Dot Hack to somebody who's willing to play it. Let's see. Some kind of crow on the page. I must speak with Morgana. To go where she is, the living flesh poses a hindrance, but I must go, for our aura. Emma, please give me a little more courage. Oh, I said, sitting back, and he shrugged. He shrugged his shoulders. Oh, this? He said, I had Asaoka copy it for me. I thought it would be good to have it. Oh my god, be good to have it to look at again if I thought of anything else. Ah, well, it's fine by me, I said slowly. No, it's not. You know it's not, but you don't want to make a scene. So then what made you think that Morgana would be the mother? He said. I pointed at the note. Harold says the living flesh poses a hindrance. The idea I had was that in order to see Morgana, he threw away his body. Having said that, I took a deep breath. So why would Harold take such a drastic step just to see her? Wondered Asaoka. She and Hagia nodded at me to continue. Maybe his goal was to talk to the mother of his precious child. I took out the printout of the email kited forward to me from Aura. Take a look at this. Asaoka took the paper in hand, and she and Hagia scrutinized it. That's a weird way to say reading. It's scrambled, Hagia said. Kite said he's gotten several emails from her, but they're always scrambled, I said. Huh. But why? Hagia said. Doesn't make any sense to me. What's Kubia? Asaoka asked. While I was brooding over how to explain Kubia to her, Hagia said, Kubia the Concealed. I think that phrase shows up in a line in the epitaph of Twilight. What about Morgana? Not sure, Hagia said. As far as I know, I don't think she's in it. I pointed out the parts of the email that I could make sense of and explained how I'd arrived at my guesses. They silently considered what I'd said. If Morgana was her mother rather than Emma, I murmured, would that present some sort of problem? Asaoka shook her head. Actually, it wouldn't. I think we were mistaken. What do you mean? Hagia asked. I cocked my head. Asaoka looked back and forth between Hagia and me. Maybe Harold wanted to create the ultimate AI, she said, as a child. Huh? Maybe Harold made the game fragment based on the epitaph of Twilight that Emma wrote, as an environment for the child to be born in. Oh, I get it, Hagia said. I looked at him. I don't quite understand, I said. Perhaps in order to imprint emotions on the AI, Harold made a net game, Ahsoka explained. But I was still confused. We talked about how players might be outsiders inserted into the system, right? Ahsoka continued. But they're not invaders. Players are absolutely essential to Harold's plans. Absolutely essential, I asked? Wouldn't players be an important resource for teaching emotions to the child? To Aura? Ahsoka said. Not in today's climate, Jesus. The world's purpose is for Aura to be brought up in it, I said. That's it, Ahsoka nodded. And it's because you and the others knew Harold's goal that you're trying to help Aura, right? I looked at the floor. Whatever our reasons, we do want to help her. I murmured. I was helping Aura in order to save Fumikazu. I had no conclusive evidence that helping Aura would lead to my goal, but it was the only hope I had right now. And in this email from Aura, Morgana's name appeared, Ahsoka said. Last time we talked, we didn't have any theories as to who she could be, but now you've got one, Hayami. The mother, I said. Right, said Ahsoka. So if you say Morgana is the mother, then she was trying to lead me to the answer, but I still didn't see where she was going. What do you think her role is? She hinted. Wait, I said, confused. Isn't that obvious? I just said it. Hagia, what do you think her role is? She asked. I'd say a mother's role is to raise her child, Hagia said. In this case, Aura. Ah, Ahsoka said. But didn't Harold use the words our Aura to Emma? Yes, Hagia said. He phrased it that way in the note. In that case, Ahsoka said, I don't think it's a mistake to say that our means Harold's and Emma's. So you mean that Aura has two mothers? Hell yeah. Polycule. Ahsoka nodded. Like I said before, Harold wanted to create the ultimate AI as a child. Right. So, what if Morgana was created to be the birth mother of Harold's and Emma's child? Said Ahsoka. Ah, in vitro fertilization! Hold on a minute, please. I sat back to arrange my thoughts. Aura told Kite she had wanted him to do something in regard to Morgana. Something that I couldn't figure out from the email. The fact that it was in past tense bugged me. Harold probably abandoned his body of living flesh to meet with Morgana. He digitized himself into the Matrix. You actually see him in Dot Hack's sign, but he does not show up physically in the games. So you know how I was talking about outsiders before? Ahsoka said after I'd been silent for a while. Hagia, remember how you said Harold had based the world on the epitaph and that it included something else beyond that? Yeah. Oh, Hagia said, his eyes widening. Maybe that something else is a mother program. Probably, said Ahsoka. And it was the reference to Morgana that we didn't understand. So that makes me think that Hayami's idea about Morgana being the mother is right. Let's lay this all out. Oh my god, what is this, Danganronpa? Repeating the same ass shit. Let's go back. Who was the murder victim? Oh. What's a shovel? Well, you see a shovel. Oh, Danganronpa. Your lore is incredibly dark, but your writing is so fucking goofy. Alright. Where are we? Let's lay this all out, Hagia said. Harold wanted a child with the woman he loved. That's why he tried to create Aura. Up to that point, the explanation fits. Ahsoka nodded. And so to make a child, you of course need a mother, but an AI is just a program unless it learns from interacting with others. So maybe he taught the mother the same way? I get it, Hagia said. So that's why Harold abandoned his physical body, so he could speak with the program. Right, said Ahsoka. She was about to say more, but Hagia held up a hand. Wait, he said. So what you're leading up to is that Aura wants something done to Morgana, her mother program? Well, I reread Aura's email as Ahsoka hesitated. When I mentally reviewed what we discussed the last time we'd met, how the world had become unstable because some kind of outside element had been introduced, the only kind of answer we'd arrived at then was that we'd have to just help Aura without knowing what that outside element was. In the end, it's pure conjecture, Asaoka finally said, but what if we consider it in reverse? Huh? I said. What do you think would happen if the Morgana program, who was created only for the sake of giving birth to Aura, reached her end? I considered. You mean if she fulfilled all her programming, she would turn off? He was a genius programmer, you know, Asaoka said. I think he would have planned that. Morgana is programmed to vanish at the moment Aura finishes growing. Now, if you knew that's how you were programmed, what would you do? If it were me, I would try to keep her from growing. Exactly, Asaoka said. I'm sure that's the only way you'd be able to ensure your continued existence. That's right. It took me forever to remember what the fuck Morgana was, but Morgana was the, essentially like mother code that helped Aura grow, and she was supposed to turn off when Aura fully developed. But when she realized that, she's like, nope. Ain't happening. So she prevented Aura's growth. Where are we? I'm sure that's the only way you'd be able to ensure your continued existence. Then you mean that Morgana sent the 8 phases from the epitaph of Twilight after Aura? I said, to stave off her own death? I did say this was pure conjecture, Asaoka said, shrugging. But if that did happen, it would have been a departure from the original plan. And that's why Harold panicked, I said. Exactly, Asaoka said. He hadn't thought that the mother he had programmed would refuse to give birth. Oh, Jesus. It was beginning to make a strange kind of sense. But Aura is already here, I said. She has a visible form. She exists. Maybe she doesn't count as born until she's complete, Asaoka suggested. Okay, but if that's the case, I murmured, and Hagia and Asaoka looked at me. How must Morgana have felt to watch over Aura while knowing that the child's growth would shorten her own lifespan? How must Aura have felt knowing that her parent thought of her so bitterly? It's kind of sad, I thought out loud. What kind of cruel program did Harold create? Silence reigned in the storage room after that pronouncement until Hagia spoke up to break it. But from that point, the thing that gets really hard to understand is Kubia. We gave him our attention. Is it an ally? He asked. The question had never crossed my mind. An ally? Whose? I asked wildly. Aura's, he said. Maybe she doesn't want you and your friends fighting Kubia because it's her ally? But I protested. It was really hard to think of Kubia as an ally of Aura's. As I hesitated, Asaoka answered for me. Kubia seems to be the aggressor in those battles, so I don't think that idea is correct. Then if not Aura's ally, is it Morgana's ally? Hagia said. Well... Asaoka said, but no more words were forthcoming. I nervously spoke up, continuing the train of thought. I get the feeling that's not right either. Kubia always interrupts us when we meet with Aura. If it was Morgana's ally, don't you think it would attack Aura instead of attacking us? Skaith apparently had attacked Aura, I remembered. I just couldn't think of Kubia as Morgana's ally any more than I could think of it as Aura's ally. Why is that loud all of a sudden? I just couldn't think of Kubia as Morgana's ally any more than I could think of it as Aura's ally. True, Hagia said, But it definitely seems to be the case that Kubiya has some kind of connection with your friend's bracelet. It does seem to, I said. We couldn't think of anything else to say after that. By mutual consent, we called it a day and left the music storage room. The only one Aura can depend on is Kite, I pondered to myself as I walked to the exit. I never realized before how truly alone Aura was, without even a mother's love. That was the reason she sent him emails, even though they were invariably scrambled. I was about to step out of the building when someone called me from behind. Hayami. Yeah? I turned around and there was Hagia. He stood there. What is it? I raised an eyebrow for him to speak. Well, he said eventually. Are you free after school lets out? No. Fuck you. Huh? Do you have plans? It was such a sudden line of inquiry that I was taken aback. I seem to remember that the last day of school was Christmas Eve. There definitely wasn't any tennis practice that day. My family had a Christmas Eve party every year, but with Fumikazu in the hospital, would we even go through with that this year? If you don't have any plans, Hagia said, would you like to go somewhere to cheer you up? I took a breath. I still don't quite get you, he sighed. Okay, I know, but if you're free that day, or if you think you'll have even a little time, call me. But I looked at his face, trying to think of a good way to phrase a refusal. No. That's a good way to phrase a refusal. No. Well, anyway, think about it, he said. Then he walked out of the school without even waiting for my answer. I watched him go and heaved a huge sigh. This boy, it seems like he's intentionally preventing her from getting a word in edgewise before she can, like, turn him down. Like, he knows that she's gonna, but he's like, maybe if she's, like, too caught off guard, she'll accidentally say yes and it still counts. Fucking asshole. Time passes, and, Black Rose gets a letter from Kite. There's supposed to be a useful item at Omega, Raging Facing Mirrors Virgin. That's an example of, the word list, Sam. Omega server, Raging, Facing Mirrors, Virgin. Hilarious. Would you like to go with me, Black Rose? Being on standby all the time sucks. After I read the email from Kite, I became Black Rose and headed for Leah Fail. The keywords he mentioned were unfamiliar, so we're going back to the Omega server. I hadn't seen any mention of them on the BBS, which I'd read before logging on, as usual. Had he learned them from some acquaintance? Maybe one of the player characters who had come to help out during our most recent operation? The areas he had invited me to in the past, had he sometimes heard their keywords from one of those friends? Sometimes I didn't know where I stood with him. I had come this far considering myself Kite's partner, but what did he think of me as? His girlfriend. Oh, that was dumb, I'm sorry. Arriving at the Leah Fail Chaos Gate, I took a look around. Kite was there, walking over from the direction of the shops, so I waved. Hi, Kite smiled and approached. Before we go, I said, there's something I want to talk about. We formed a party and walked to somewhere off the main thoroughfare so we wouldn't be in anyone else's way. What about? Kite asked. It's about Aura's email. Did you figure out something? Kite cocked his head and listened intently as I told him about what I had discussed with Asoka and Hagia earlier. He nodded, intrigued. If that's the truth, he said, I wonder what I should do. I can't think of any way to avoid fighting Kubiya. I'll say, I agreed. There's no way we can... This fucking song. This is the fucking Grunty writing song, and Grunties are these little... Not little, but they're these goofy-looking pachyderm-esque animals that talk. and you raise them from a baby by feeding them little talking food items that you find in different worlds. I never bothered with them. I don't really care much for whatever the equivalent of the Chow Garden is from Sonic Adventure. I never cared for that. There's no way we can run from a situation like that. But if Kite hesitated and then he looked up at me, if we don't fight, maybe something might come of it? Huh? I blurted out. Kite knew we'd probably end up in comas if we lost a fight, so it was a suggestion I didn't expect to hear from him. What are you saying? Well, it's ad break time, that's what. Yahoo! Good evening, VOD watchers. Or anyone who happens to be lucky enough to not, get ads for whatever random reason. Thank God that song's over. There is quite a lot of PS2 RPGs that I have yet to get to. Just because they're so long. They take forever. Oh yeah, I mentioned as I was going live that I've been playing through Final Fantasy IV, the Pixel Remaster. I had become addicted to those Pixel Remasters, Jesus. I plan on buying 5 and 6 as well, but not 1 and 2. Just because I don't really like the way they play, personally. I always get stuck. Every single time I've tried to play this, I get stuck. The other Final Fantasy III, I've beaten the DS version. 4, I had the PSP version, and it looks gorgeous, but God, I'm stuck on the last dungeon. It's really long, and I'm slowly level grinding, so I figured, fuck it. I'll just buy the Pixel Remaster and quadruple my level gain and turn off encounters when I don't need to gain levels. The ultimate fast track. I think that's the phrase I'm intending to use. I can't tell if I'm getting sleepy or what. But I really want to finish this fucking book. We have there's less than half to go, but there's still a bit of a chunk. I am worried that I won't be able to finish it by the 3-hour mark, but I can hope, god damn you, I can hope. I'm gonna do it either way. I should have bought an energy drink for this. I haven't been drinking energy drinks all week because I've had sub jobs for a lot of it, and I didn't want to gas myself up, or whatever the fuck. I don't actually know if caffeine affects me like other people does. It never really made me feel energized. It just was tasty. Okay, we're back. Well, I was thinking, if another way opens up, how could there be one? I shook my head. It always shows up itching for a fight. If we just stand there and do nothing, we'll get taken out in an instant. That's true, Kite said, hanging his head. There was more I wanted to say, but I didn't want to put things to the test. We weren't at the point where we could bet everything on one hunch. There were only 2 opponents left for us to defeat, but once that was over, we still had no proof that would make the coma victims wake up. So I just smiled at Kite and said, I'm sure we're doing what's best. For now, let's keep doing what we can. If Kubia shows up, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, okay? Yeah, Kite said. Ah, I noticed Kite's attention had been drawn by something behind me, and I turned around. What? I'm quite sorry for making you wait, said Ryoko Terajima. Aw, the baby. Did I? No, I don't. So I'm not going to worry about it. Standing there and bowing elegantly, she tilted her head, and when she saw me, "Oh, Black Rose is with us too," she said as she quietly approached Kite. He seemed to be expecting her. "Yeah, it'll be easier to get there if we're all together," he said. "All together, huh?" Of course, it was often true that parties of 3 made easier work, but I just didn't get what Kite was thinking. Choosing Ryoko Terajima of all people. Did he forget what happened the other day? Terajima had charged at an irregular monster, ignoring us when we tried to stop her. If Kite hadn't finished it off immediately, she would have become another coma victim. Please. There we go. Mommy. Alright, anyway. Sorry. Ryoko looked at me. Her face was just computer graphics, of course, but I couldn't tell what kind of expression... I couldn't tell what kind of expression she was really wearing. But having her stare at me wasn't helping my mood any. I met her look head on and said something rather out of character for Black Rose. "You got some reason to be here too, Terajima?" "Is that not acceptable?" she said, like her presence there was only natural. My lips fell into a pout. "Oh, I wouldn't say that." Kai watched our exchange with a troubled face, but said nothing. "Well, whatever," I said. "Let's go, Kite." Without bothering to see whether they followed, I headed for the Chaos Gate. All my encouraging words about Kubiya earlier now rang a bit hollow in my ears. When I got to the gate, I turned around. Kite and Ryoko Terajima had followed. "We're going then," I said, as the transfer rings wrapped around the 3 of us. I watched them as if in a daze. I awoke several hours later in a daze. "Thank you for the stretchies, Sam." Hold on, let me make sure. The moment we transferred to the field, my battle with Ryoko Terajima began. First, over what direction the dungeon was in. Okay, now we stretches. Okay. I almost fucking dipped my bookmark. Honestly, I'm loving this book. Really? That's good. I mean, I didn't expect you to, since you can't really tell what's from. As far as I'm aware, I don't know if you're able to tell what's going on, but hey. It was really easy to tell by looking at the map, but for some reason she wanted to go some other way. Kite convinced her we should take the shortest route. Then when we entered the dungeon, there were 2 paths, east or west. Kite seemed to hesitate, so I chose east, but Ryoko Terajima started heading in the other direction. Where are we? Where did I go? Oh, we couldn't split up the party, so Kite and I followed after her. This pattern happened time after time. The umpteenth time I chose a different direction from her, she walked up to me. "Tell me," she said, "exactly why did you come with us to this dungeon in the first place?" "Because," I said, "I was invited by Kite, that's why." She seemed doubtful. "Oh, is that true?" she asked, turning to Kite, her voice trembling. Kite hesitated. "Just come out and say it, Kite," I said. I invited her. "It's reassuring to have Black Rose around," he said. He seemed rather put out by this pronouncement. "But you know," he continued, you're the one who told me about this, about how there was a rare item." "Hold on," I said. "Didn't you tell me it was a useful item?" I'd assumed he'd invited me so we could find some item that would get us closer to our ultimate goal. Was I wrong? Kite looked back and forth between our faces, then his eyes dropped to the floor. Oh, I see, I muttered. Is that how it was? Ryoko Terajima asked dejectedly. So was it wrong of me for so was it wrong for me to invite you both? Kite said sadly. Who knows? I barked. I think you're gonna have to answer that question for yourself. Hell yeah, girl. How true, Terajima said. I agree. In my opinion, Black Rose has it exactly right. I turned to look at her. It was the first time I could remember us agreeing about anything. She returned my look. Whatever, I said. I really don't care about it anymore. Yes, you do. But that wasn't really true. Yeah, there you go. I did care, but not about any stupid old item. I had no time to waste in a maze of a dungeon like this one. Maybe we should just go back, Ryoko Terajima suggested. I immediately indicated the path to the side. Well, I'm going to the right. She immediately said, and I'm going to the left. What the fuck is this petty-ass bullshit? I knew you wouldn't be able to agree with me for long, I thought, walking down my chosen tunnel and leaving Kite standing there by himself. Didn't you just say you couldn't split the party? Why does Kite have to be so darn indecisive, I thought. Why did he have to go and make up a story about a useful item if all he wanted to do was hang out with Terajima? I kept wandering through the dungeon until eventually I ran into a dead end. Even more frustrated by then, I just used an item to transport myself back to the field. Even though I'd left the dungeon without ever finding out what we had come for in the first place, I suspected that whatever item Ryoko had talked about wouldn't amount to much. There's that 2-page spread of their fucking weird anime lady verbal fight with that, like, figurative but still visually articulated, like, lightning bolt between two beefing female anime characters. That's so dumb. Alright, let me check how much we've got. Postscript. Okay, so okay, the last page is 217, and we are on page 131. Let me do some calculator math real quick. $217 minus 131. 86 pages! Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it earlier, but the Nameless game has numerous jump scares. Boo! Damn it. Oh, god damn it. Ugh. Alright, fine then. I'll get as far as I can whenever we hit the 3-hour mark, and then after that, I'm gonna call it a stream. I don't know if I can read 86 pages in an hour. Less than. That's insane. This is why I never really dug deep into my college textbooks, because they're like, read 50 pages. Even though you have 4 classes that are also expecting you to read 50 pages. Like, bro, how much time do you think I have? Fuck you. I graduated. I graduated, motherfucker. Anyway, Kite wasn't at the Chaos Gate when I reached it. I waited there for a while to see if he would come back, but none of the player characters who came and went were the familiar red twin blade. I don't understand him, I thought, sadly, as I left the world behind me. Time passes. What am I doing? I moaned, head down on my desk. We're back to the real world. Kite's inability to decide anything irritated me to no end. What good is a party leader if we can't even choose which way he should go? If the only reason he'd invited me along was because he felt safer in a party of 3, I would have rather he hadn't. If he wanted to hang out with Ryoko Terajima, they certainly didn't need a third wheel. Why did Kite invite me anyway? My cell phone next to the computer started ringing, startling me out of my thoughts. I flipped it open and checked who was calling. It wasn't someone in my contacts list, but I recognized the number. It was Hagia, still annoying her. In no mood to answer the phone, I just let it go to voicemail. But the phone, I put the phone back down on the desk. Staring at the now silent phone, I thought, aren't we the same? Vague and indecisive. They were words that applied to me as well as Kite. Before criticizing Kite, I should look in the mirror, right? It's not that I can't decide, I told myself. I just don't have any excuse for refusing. Yes, you do. It's called not being interested. But even I didn't really buy the explanation. I gained nothing by prolonging things. If I cared all about the other person, then the best thing to do was say something right away. That's probably something that both Kite and I could stand to learn. If something had to be said, eventually anyway, worrying over it was a waste of time and brain power. You got that right, Akira. Oh, that's right, her name is Akira Hayami, that's it. With that thought, I knew then what I had to do. Okay, I said, taking a deep breath before once again donning the FMT. Oh, I love that. It's subtle, but it's there. She chose to log into the world. That's so fucking great, I love it. Instead of calling him back. Got a minute? I asked the winged player character the minute I ran across her. I had searched the town for 10 odd minutes since returning to the world. Fine, what is it? Ryoko Terajima answered sharply. It's not like I've got anything better to do. I've got something to tell you, Terajima, and what would that be? Wordlessly, I passed over my member address. She looked at me suspiciously. Accept it, I said. It's something we can't discuss publicly. Uh-oh. I still wasn't sure how to approach this, but this seemed the right first step for Black Rose's character to take. She reluctantly accepted my member address and invited me to a party. We switched to party chat mode. We have a misunderstanding, I told her. About what, pray tell? About Kite. What's between us isn't what you think. Oh, yes it is, girl. You're just fucking too blind to see it. Then what is between you? I opened myself to answer, but it wouldn't come out. How do you explain how you're always with him? She demanded. We're friends, I said simply, flooded with relief at how much easier it was to say than I'd thought it would be. Or rather, companions, I guess? Valued companions? She waited for me to continue. He didn't mention anything about you coming along, I said, so I got a little ticked off, that's all. I'm sorry for going on and on earlier. She shook her head. No, I was out of line then too. I also was mad at Kite for being so indecisive. I laughed. Oh, you noticed that about him. She was surprised. You were upset about that as well, Black Rose? I suggested. Oh no, I shrugged. There's only so much you can take, you know? She smiled. Absolutely. And the ice was broken. We traded Kite stories. What a fucking thing to say. We traded Kite stories, then we moved on to other topics. How she had started playing without knowing much about net games. That was why she'd used her real name as her character name. How she went to an all-girl high school, and how her father had flipped out when she'd told her parents about meeting Kite online. Why the fuck would they flip out? Now that I'd made the effort to talk to her, I understood her a lot better. She was just a newbie when she met Kite. That explained everything. Oh, did it? Oh, Terajima suddenly blurted out, then she froze. A second later, I paused too. Sorry about, earlier. A flash mail from Kite arrived. It's not a big deal. Yes, it is. I started typing a reply, but I paused before sending it. Turning to Terajima, I said, Hey, just now, Kite. Terajima stirred. I received a flash mail from Kite just now. She said, You too, huh? What? I asked, and I broke into spontaneous laughter. Talk about methodical, I thought. It was just so funny that he'd sent flash mails to both of us at the same time, not knowing we were together. It's what you call a coincidence. So, have you replied? I asked. No, not yet. Want to try surprising him? Terajima looked at me. Surprise Kite? Yeah, I said. Doesn't that indecisiveness make you want to get back at him just a little? It sure does, she said, smiling. We have begun the Zone of the Enders soundtrack. Fucking love Zone of the Enders. This also needs to be turned down a little bit. If you haven't played Zone of the Enders, I highly recommend it. I'm not usually into mech games, but this one's very good. Well, there's two of them. There's Zone of the Enders and then Zone of the Enders, the second runner. Both are good. Both are surprisingly short, and they're fucking fantastic. And I can't remember if they put the remaster of Zone of the Enders on PS4, but I know it was on PS3. But yeah. Highly recommend Zone of the Enders. It was another. It's another Konami game made by the fucking Metal Gear guy. What the Hideo Kojima. That's it. I think it's presented by Hideo Kojima. I can't remember if he. I know he helped with it. I'm next to the Chaos Gate in Leah Fail. If you've got time. Could you come by? Is the message she sent to Kite. I sent off a flash mail and Kite's response came back quickly. Sure, be right there. When Kite arrived, he stopped in his tracks, watching him standing there and knowing how surprised he must have been. Terajima and I felt the ill will between us melt away. We grinned at each other. Time passes. When the school's closing ceremonies ended, I quickly left the classroom behind me. I had a long list of things to do today, telling Miho, Risa, and Shoko that I'd message them later. I hurried home. When I got there, I opened my closet. Compared to the average high school girl, I guess I didn't have much in the way of casual wear. I just wasn't very interested in clothes. After changing into one of the few slender pairs of jeans I had, throwing on a beige woolen coat, I hastily left the house. Gripping the cold handlebars of my bike, I pedaled hard. My destination was the closest train station. There was a small, quiet park within walking distance of it. The person I'd arranged to meet was already in the park when I got there. I'm sorry for calling you out here, I said as I walked up. That's no problem, said Hagia, meeting me with a smile. The wind was cold enough to make my ears hurt, and my hands were getting numb. But what most surprised me was how calm I was feeling. Hagia took a wrapped box from the pocket of his meticulous coat. Ew. Would you accept this? He asked. It's a Christmas present from me. No big deal, of course. Oh, is it not? I shook my head. This is impossible for me, really, I said. What is? What is? He said. His tone was calm and composed, but his face had stiffened at my response. I'm sorry, I murmured internally. This wasn't easy to say. I sighed deeply but quietly. Yes, this fucking guy. He won't stop. All my homies hate Hagia. All my homies hate Hagia. There was one time she tried to pedal away from him, and he jumped in front of her bike, and she wasn't pedaling very fast, so he just forced her bike to stop. He's like, "What are you doing? Why won't you open up?" Bro, you barely know her. What the fuck? Why is she obligated to open up to you, you dickwad? Yes, he was right, because at the time she was holding in what her issues were, which is that her brother was one of the people who got put into a coma, but she felt like she wasn't, she felt like she couldn't tell anybody about it. But he was the last person that she was gonna fucking open up to. Bro, leave her the fuck alone. Jesus, alright. That would cause problems for me, I said, lowering my head. I apologize for not just coming out and refusing like this until now. You already have, though! You have already refused him! The cold wind cut between us, Hagia murmured. I'll be waiting? Oh god, this fucking I'll be waiting. That's not a cool thing to say, dude. You're not cool by saying that. You're a fucking creep. God, fuck this guy, man. Ugh. For fuck's sake, bro. absurd, this boy. Anyway. I'll be waiting. My mind already had been made up, no matter how Hagia had reacted. I seem to have learned from my experience with Terajima just how much confusion could be caused for people around you by your own indecision. Correct. Don't make promises there's no sense in keeping, I said. Fuck yeah! Fuck this boy! Not literally. Hagia digested that, then he said, is there someone else you like? You're goddamn right there is. It's your boy Kite. I kid. Oh, that's a cute little one-page sketch of her confronting Hagia. She looks cute in that jacket. I like her design. Anyway. Oh, right. We're back in the real world. This way. Anyway. It's not like that. I guess I'm just not interested, I confessed, averting my eyes from him for the first time in this meeting. Okay, he let out. Boy, I must have been annoying. Oh, now you think that! Jesus! Woo! I couldn't think of any reply worth giving to voice to. Hagia began, noticing a change in his tone. I looked up at him questioningly, kind of hoping, today being Christmas Eve and you were so much more agreeable the last time we met, I thought maybe... This bitch of a boy! Just because someone's agreeable doesn't mean they like you! It's called communication! Words mean things for a reason. You say the words. God. I thought maybe... I'm sorry, I said. Don't be, he said, his eyes downcast. Apologies just make it hurt more? Then keep apologizing, Akira. Crush his fucking arrogant heart into the sand. As I stood there silently, not knowing what to say, he murmured, It's cold, why don't you go on home? Quit telling her what to do, you bitch! But I protested. If I stay here with you any longer, I'll end up hoping again? Oh, boo frickety hoo. I'm sorry, I said slowly, and I truly was. Were you really? He lifted his head. In the dimming light, I saw tears pulled in his eyes. I had to look away. This fucking dipshit of a boy. I hope your brother wakes up soon, he whispered. Yeah, I croaked. You might catch a cold, he said. Go on. Quit telling her what to do. I'm sorry, I apologize one last time, and thank you. I took off down the street in the last rays from the sun before it dipped below the horizon. Why did she see him at sunset? What a weird thing. I guess this was the same day. Either way, yes, fuck this boy. Get him out of your goddamn life. I got an email from Tartarga, so I'm heading in... Oh yeah, some time passes, by the way. I got an email from Tartarga, so I'm heading into the world. If you see this message, could you log on to? The email from Kite jumped out at me as soon as I booted up the computer after returning home. Feeling refreshed, the message's time indicated that it had been sent recently. Mom had said we should have a party even though Fumikazu wasn't around. Seeing as Kota was looking forward to one, I looked back and forth between the computer and the clock on the wall. It was 5 o'clock. There was still time for action before dinner. I'm still alright, I thought, donning the FMD and heading into the world. I had no idea that it would be very, very long. I had no idea that it would be a very, very long Christmas Eve night. I forgot the final battle takes place on Christmas Eve! What a fucking way to do Christmas Eve, bro. I remember a couple years ago, I discovered a fucking fantastic podcast on Christmas Eve called the Chilluminati Podcast. I was marathoning that shit until like 5 a.m. on Christmas Eve. That shit was rad. Anyway. Kite saw me warp in by the Chaos Gate and he ran over. I waved to him. Sorry I'm late, he said. Yeah, I haven't been waiting long, he said as he gave a light sigh. Did something happen? I peered at Kite's face. Oh yeah, we are back in Omega Server. He says, No, I haven't been waiting long, he said as he gave a light sigh. I peered at Kite's face. What's up? Well... He hesitated. Is it something Tartarga's email said? Yeah, Kite said. His voice had an edge to it as he started explaining. Tartarga apparently had a... Okay, sorry. Tartarga apparently had happened to see a wandering... Oh, by the way, Tartarga is a hacker in the world. And in this MMO, hackers are so proficient that they can... make their own illegal servers. And there's one that hackers like to gather in called NetSlum. And all their avatars are like weird looking. There's some whose heads are emoticons. There's one whose face is... You won't be able to see it on screen, but I'll be able to show you, Sam. That's their head. Their head is just that. It's very silly looking. Anyway, Tartarga apparently had happened to see a wandering AI named Harold. Hey! When Harold asked him, "Where is the sanctuary?" Tartarga responded, "You know better than I do." Whereupon the AI muttered a set of keywords as if remembering and vanished. Sanctuary. Isn't that... Delta... No. Oh, what the fuck is that? Damn, I always have to look these up. I always forget the names of the Greek/Roman letters. It's the closed triangle. Whoa, okay, completely unrelated at all to anything that's happening, but I hate it when I'm watching a deep dive into a spooky game and the person that is talking about it says, "And then this happens," and I know something scary is about to happen and it makes me tense up. I'm not familiar with that, although if you like long-form video essays about horror and spooky stuff, I highly recommend Flawed Peacock. He did I think I already mentioned him to you. I can't remember if it was you or someone else, but it was whenever we were talking about Faith of the Unholy Trinity. I can't remember if it was you I was talking to or not, but he did a whole video essay series on all 3 chapters of Faith, and it's fucking great. Breacher. One of my favorite lines from that entire series of videos is there was a reference to a Catholic hymn or something in the game, and he's like, "My knowledge of Catholic hymns is a little rusty, but I believe it's this, I believe it's this." And he's like, "I may be a lapsed Catholic, but I'm a professional lapsed Catholic. A prolapsed Catholic." Oh my god. Awesome guy, I like them. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Oh, I'm slowly making my way through his 10-hour video on immortality. I've never heard of it. Neither have I. I hadn't heard of Her Story either, the previous one he did. But what a fucking premise that is, and what a reveal! Wow. Either way, yeah, a prolapsed Catholic. God, that's a good bit. So fucking funny. Anyway, I need to Google what the fucking servers mean. .hack. No, not differs. Servers. .hack servers. No, not servers for hackers. God damn it. There we go, server. Delta. Okay, so I was right, it's Delta. Okay, so there's 5 servers. There's the Delta server, the Theta server, Lambda, Sigma, and Omega, and they're all in that order. The first server is Delta server. So, the keywords that Harold had told Tartarga was sanctuary. Isn't that Delta, hidden, forbidden, holy ground? I said. One of the first keywords you learn in the entire games, and they're such pretty words. And the location is gorgeous as well. And if they go back there, I will absolutely show pictures of it, because it's a very story-relevant place. Apparently not, Kite replied. Tartarga said the words he heard were Delta reincarnated Purgatorial Altar. Wow. Oh, okay. So much for my idea that Harold might have his eye on the area that had the aura statue. Well, I'm going too. I felt like I've got to ask him what he did that made it so people can fall into comas. Well, Kite hesitated. Something wrong with that? I don't have the virus cores to do it, Kite said. It's a protected area? Kite nodded at my question and hung his head. Breaking the protection on that level makes some types of virus cores I've never seen before, so I can't even guess how to get my hands on them. Virus cores in this instance, Sam, are ways that he's able to hack into protected areas. And you get virus cores by killing corrupted enemies using what's known as data drain, using that mysterious bracelet that Kite has. And the animation for the data drain is so fucking rad. In fact, I think I've got pictures of it on here. Yeah, there it is. It's also the bracelet as well. That's the bracelet, but it's usually invisible. And then that's what the animation looks like whenever he does a data drain. It's this portal and it fucking shoots out those like hexadecimal codes. It's so fucking cool looking. Oh yeah. That's Black Rose. That's Akira's character in game. Big old massive sword. Let's see. There's Helba, one of the hackers. That's the church at Hidden Forbidden Holy Ground. Where's Kite's images? There's Balmung, there's Aura. Where the hell is the Kite images that I have? I know I've got them on here. There he is. Oh, itchy. So there was Kite before he got the bracelet. After he got the bracelet, he turned red. And he looks cool. I like the hat. And the shoes. That's his in-game character icon. I love the art style. It's gorgeous. That's him from Dot Hack Sign. Him and Black Rose show up at the end. That is the avatar that Leos uses. Leos being one of the members of the company, being an employee at the company who runs the world. Although these models are also used as the Root Town's shopkeepers. They have different outfits for each server, but Leos takes control of whichever one he wants at the time. There's Mia, adorable cat lady. There's Mistral, the absolute baby. I love her. There is her IRL. There's Mistral's IRL counterpart. I forget what her name is, but she's a pregnant housewife, and she is a blessing on this world. I love her so much. There's something that's a spoiler. There's Orca, which is Kite's friend that got put into a coma. These are the phases of the wave that they mentioned, that Morgana was sending to them. There's Skaith, the first one, who disrupted Aura's growth. Then there's Innis, Magus, Fitchshell, Gore. There's the backside of Gore. Matcha, which is just gorgeous looking. And Tarvos. Those are the ones that they have fought so far. I don't want to go any further, just for the sake of pacing. And then you have the Root Towns. Come on. Oh, damn it, I hate it when this happens. There's the Delta Root Town, Carmina Gadelica. I think it's Carmina Gadelica. I could be wrong. Hold on. I have a fucking phone for this. Delta server Mac Anu, excuse me. That's it from the anime. That's it from the game. It looks gorgeous, I love it. This is the Theta server Dunloyrig. That's the in-game version of it. That's from the Dot Hack Sign anime. This is from the game. Oh, there's the Chaos Gate right there on the right side. And then that is the Lambda server, the town of Carmina Gadelica. This night sort of looking city. But again, there's the Chaos Gate. With water and like, all these root towns just make you just want to sit and hang out in them. Like if this were a real MMO, I'd had like a group of friends and just sit on the dock and just talk for hours. That shit's so rad, bro. There's another view of Carmina Gadelica. That is the Sigma server, Root Town Fort Oaf. The fort carved into the mountains. Yeah, that's it for Fort Oaf. This is what was supposed to be the Omega server. That's what the gate looks like. Yes, the gate right there on the bottom is that spinning circle is the Chaos Gate. That's what you walk up to, you interact with it, and it gives you a list of keywords to put in. That's how you get to the different worlds, and in those worlds there's different dungeons. Well, there's one dungeon per keyword area, and a lot of the dungeons tend to repeat visually, but there's like different types of fields that contain dungeons, and some of them are like more focused around a specific type of element. There's like, you know, there's a snow one, the jungly one, the volcano-y ones, etc., etc. But whenever you gate, or like whenever you transfer to a field, a series of gold rings surround you, and they like slide down over your body, and you disappear. It's super fucking cool. But yeah, that's original Omega server. But as soon as they warp, it's giving Diablo 3 vibes for me. It's been a while since I've played Diablo 3, so I can neither confirm nor deny. I need to replay it. It's been forever. I played Reaper of Souls edition on PS3. I need to actually like rebuy it because I sold my copy like a while ago. But yeah, that's the original Omega server. And then as soon as they entered, they heard this like ear-piercing scream or like high-pitched noise, and they had to leave. And then Helba, the best hacker lady, we love her, made a mirror of Omega server based on NetSlum. And this is NetSlum. And I believe this is where they're at right now. Yes, that's where they're at right now. Okay. Oh yeah, want to try asking Helba? I'd gotten the impression that Helba had taught Kite about different kinds of virus cores and how to get them. So it seemed a fair bet that she might know how to go about getting those new types as well. But how do I contact her? Kite wondered. Oh. Belatedly, I realized neither Kite nor I had contact info for Helba. Kite apparently had gotten several emails from her, but even if he replied directly, his messages just bounced back as undeliverable. Want to go to NetSlum? We could ask Tartarga directly, or whatever. Kite shook his head. I tried going, but no one was there. No one at all? Yeah, none of the usual inhabitants were there. Well, gee willikers. I added the willikers. I tried to think of someone else we could contact. What about Leos? We probably could use the BBS. That's the big message board, but I forget what it actually stands for. To get in touch with him, but it wasn't like he could post something like virus cores there. What to do? It was a complete stalemate. The Chaos Gate was teeming with people coming and going, so we moved off to the side. Hey, can I ask you something? I said. Kite turned around at my words. About yesterday, end quote. I wanted to ask about what had happened when Ryoko Terajima had gone with us to Omega Facing Mirrors Virgin. Gazing at Kite, I said, why didn't you take the initiative? You were acting out of character, that's why I left the party. You're right, Kite said meekly. Sorry. Forget sorry, I said, I want an explanation. Sure, he said eventually. Spit it out. Well, you and Terajima haven't gotten along since you first met, right? That wasn't what I expected. Oh, yeah? Yeah, Kite said, his voice dropping.
When you're with her, you're different from your usual self. Thinking back on it, I definitely was. Maybe, I admitted. I wanted you to get along, Kite said, so I thought that if I didn't take the lead, you two might talk and decide where to go. If only they weren't petty, that would have worked. I was expecting a big stone door with big holes in it, to slide big stone tablets in the holes, and that would be the way to get the phrases to activate the portal. And the door would open up, and there would be a... But no. That's a cool idea, but no. You interact with the gate, and a menu pops up. I mean, granted, the menu is flavored like it's in game, obviously, but still. This is a game that came out in like hold on, let me grab it from my shelf real quick if I can reach it. My PS2 shelf is within arm's reach. I just have to reach up for it. Careful on the edge. I'm trying not to get up. There we go. Son of a bitch. Oh well. I'll pick it up. This... I'm just realizing I could have just looked it up on my fucking phone. God damn it, I'm stupid. Mature sexual themes? No, there's not. There are not mature sexual themes. You fucking liars. Apparently, .hack mutation is rated T for teen, which I didn't mean to grab mutation. I meant to grab infection, but still. So around 2001, this game is from the 2001 era of PS2 games. So it ain't gonna be, technologic. I don't know if you heard that, clatter of games. Thankfully, there wasn't that many in that stack. And none of the boxes opened either. Okay, cool. Thankfully, yeah, the stack is mostly intact. I could grab most of them. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7, 11. There were 11 games in that stack, so not that many, thankfully. Headphones keep threatening to pop out. Like these tits. No. Sorry. I accidentally popped the microphone. I've got my finger wedged in the book to make sure I don't lose my place. I love this kind of EDM. I don't know what the fuck it is, but that fucking early 2000s, it sounds like a fucking laser gun going off in different keys. I love that shit. That's my fucking jam right there. Ugh. Okay, there we go. Got the stack. I'm gonna wait until after stream to put it back on the shelf, because I have to reach up, and I'm sitting down, and I don't want to deal with that shit. So anyway, excuse me. Okay, cool. Awesome game mechanic idea for me to use. You find phrases in the world and you use them in the game in the same way you do in the game, but the phrases are collectibles. Sort of. You find full phrases and not necessarily individual words, but kind of, yeah. I cannot remember if you unlock the words or the phrases, or the words and the phrases at the same time, but I know for sure when you have a specific field that you need to go to, the game will give you the full phrase, bursting past over aqua field. That's the first one you get whenever you're Kite talking to Orca. He's like, yeah, here, try this one. It's Delta, bursting past over aqua field. And if you want, you could enter the words manually yourself, or there's a quick list that saves all of the story relevant fields you've been to, which makes it go a lot smoother. Anyway. Oh yeah, so I thought that if I didn't take the lead, you two might talk and decide where to go. He gave a small sigh. But every time we came to another fork, you fucking fought. You kept wanting to go in different directions, and I hadn't planned for that possibility. I'm sorry. He trailed off, hanging his head. He's just a sweet baby boy. We loved a sweet baby boy. Bless his heart. I said, I was glad Kite had our best interest in mind, but it hadn't ended up feeling that way. Kite looked up at me, and I continued. It causes problems for us if you aren't firm. You got that? Yeah. My nagging doubt got him along. My nagging doubt about him gone. I smiled. So what do we do now? I asked, turning to look at the Chaos Gate. Even if we wanted to go to the area, we couldn't. A sense of helpless impatience washed over me. Or, anyway, what have you done up until this point? Say what? About virus cores, I said. You've used plenty of them, right? I'd find virus cores in areas written about in the BBS, he said. Ah, I get it. I said. You got them by data draining irregular monsters people mentioned. That's how you get virus cores. Right. And this time, there weren't any posts about anything like that. As usual, I had a cursory pass of the BBS. I made a cursory pass of the BBS before logging in, and I hadn't seen anything especially suspicious. Maybe I'll go look again, Kite said. They aren't things you get by running around randomly. Then he froze, catching sight of someone warping in at the Chaos Gate. Huh? I looked and saw a familiar wave master running towards us. It's Mistral! It's the baby! I love her so much. Mistral! I cried, raising a hand. Mistral waved her staff around. Evening! She chirped, looking at... I fucking love Mistral, bro. Oh my god. Both her English and Japanese voice actresses do a fucking phenomenal job. Like... almost everything out of her fucking mouth makes me want to give her the biggest of hugs. I love the way she's written. She's so fucking precious. She baby. Even though she's a grown-ass woman about to give birth. Either way. Glad to catch you, I thought. I thought you might not be in town anymore. How come? I asked. There's a thread on the BBS mentioning some areas, so I thought you might already... There is? Really? Kite and I interrupted in unison. Yep. Do you remember what areas? I asked, but she shook her head. Nope, I assumed you already knew about it. I'll go look, Kite said. Wait here. Wait here, Black Rose. Sure, I said, but Kite had logged out before I said the second word. Ugh, I want to go too. I glazed at the spot he had vacated, then I turned back to Mistral. Are you alright playing at a time like this? I asked. Like what? She said. Well, it's Christmas Eve, I said. I assumed you'd be at a party or something. Ah, didn't I tell you? Mistral said. My husband is a security guard. Oh, I love that. What a fucking great bit. My husband is a security guard. That was the first I'd heard about it. Guard work is irregular, he couldn't get the day off today. Oh, I see, I said. Today he told me he had night duty at Tokyo Mega Float, Mistral said, frowning, leaving his cute wife all by her alone, so... I love her. I love her so much. Leaving his cute wife all by her lonesome. Oh, I love her. I love her plucky banter. You got a lot of pluck about you. I love me some good I love me pluck. What? I love me some pluck. I'm amazed I haven't finished my tea yet. Hold on. There we go. And now for the other tea. Okay. Okay, there's about 5 minutes left until the 3-hour mark.
Oh, I responded vaguely, but she continued talking. So here I am. Not that I thought you'd be here. Huh? Well, like you said before, today's Christmas Eve. Well, I said, and then told Mistral about the email Kite had gotten from Tartarga, and that we might be able to meet with Aura's creator, Harold. He's the one who left all those he's the one who left all those gibberish notes? She said. Right, I want to meet him if we can. We might be able to figure something out. Mistral nodded while I spoke. You're going together? She said. We plan to, but I'm not sure if we can go. Then I'm going too, she chirped. But I started to protest, and when Mistral looked at me, I unconsciously closed my mouth. She smiled in response. No need to worry, she said. I said I wanted to be involved until the end, so please let me come along. Okay, I said, showing Mistral a smile. She smiled back at me, with what I imagine was a satisfied look on her face. Sorry for the wait, Kite said as he appeared beside me. All right, it's... What? It's 4 in all. Oh, 4 virus cores. You mean you need 4 virus cores, I asked? Yeah. Hope we can get them, I said. Kite nodded confidently. I think we'll be fine. Why? The Netslow inhabitants left clues behind, he continued. Their exact words didn't make any sense, but I think if we go to the 4 areas, we probably can get virus cores. You might be able to reform the world. You might be able to reform this world, Spiritus had said to Kite, the bracelet bearer, when he had appeared in Leah Fail. They're waiting too, I thought, for this situation to be wrapped up. Even if they were hard to find, the inhabitants of this world were supporting us. They were hoping the world would change. Let's go, Kite cried, and Mistral and I nodded. The moment we transferred to the first of the areas Kite had read about, Mistral said, I guess it's safe to assume that they're telling us about 4 areas means we'll find one of the necessary virus cores in each one? Where are we? I think so, Kite said. Mistral puffed her cheeks, muttering, They could have just all been in one area. I'm just happy they told us about them, I said, shouldering my massive sword. Massive sword count number 10. Okay, running gag, Sam, but for whatever fucking reason, in this book, the author really likes using the phrase massive sword to refer to Black Rose's heavy, big two-handed sword. There's other words and phrases to refer to a big sword other than the phrase massive sword. But for whatever fucking reason, she's used it 10 times by now within 2 books, which to me feels weird. Like, it's not an absurd amount, but it's enough to make you wonder, why do you keep using that word? Where are we? Oh yeah. I'm just happy they told us about them, I said, shouldering my massive sword, and looking out to the field. If we had no leads, we wouldn't know what to do. Alright, let's go. Kite took the initiative, and Mistral and I followed after him. There was a data bug at the lowest level of the dungeon. Where are we? And we defeated it easily. Perhaps it was because the battle levels of the areas were so low, but we defeated the other 3 data bugs in short order, and safely obtained all the virus cores we needed. And that is where we will end it for this evening, because we've still got more to go, and I ain't got the fucking time. I want to play more Final Fantasy IV. That's literally why I'm like, I didn't think it would take this long, man, come on. Okay, anyway. Let's close that. Close that, close that. Close that. Close that. Bye-bye, Akira. Close that. Moving on over here. Popping the other music back up. Oh, come on. There we go. Good book. I'm excited for next stream. Oh, thank you. You're the first person to say that about my book reading. That's fucking fantastic. Thank you so much. I have all of the books already read, or,
you know what I mean. I've read volumes 1 through 3, and I have the VODs for those on my YouTube VODs channel. And it's just my username, Ikainu. And they're all in a playlist in numerical order if you would like to listen to them as like an audiobook kind of thing. In the meantime, I'm going to stop the VOD recording, so bye-bye, VOD watchers.